Trump just said you can't walk in with guns while talking about Alex Pretty's killing, seeming to blame him legally carrying a firearm as the reason for his death. Must I remind you all of a sacred thing you used to love called the Second Amendment? Trump has a good point, and I still love the Second Amendment. Only when it's politically favorable for you, huh? No, let's talk about. First off, as you always say, the Second Amendment comes with restrictions. One of those being while carrying, you must have your ID and permit on you in Minnesota. And reports are Alex did not, so he was likely, if that report is true, not legally carrying. Acting like that is the reason for him being killed is absurd. He was pepper sprayed, thrown to the ground, disarmed, and shot 10 times in a matter of moments, well before being asked for an ID. And even if that was known, it's not a death sentence. Just adding context, but also look, Alex was not engaged in a normal protest. Law enforcement was engaging in a lawful targeted arrest of an illegal immigrant wanted for violent assault. And Alex was merely filming, which he's 100% allowed to do. The arrest was happening in a public area. I mean, Alex was in the street, and this is the difference between rights and common sense. Yes, it's your right to bear arms, but we also know Alex had a physical altercation with ICE a week before this incident. Yeah, he was protesting, and 5 agents tackled him to the ground, breaking his ribs before letting him go on the scene. So he knows things can escalate, and if you're going to be confronting law enforcement agents again while they're doing their job in a high-tense operation against a felon, you know carrying a gun increases the odds of things escalating even more. Every gun owner knows when you're carrying around law enforcement to be very careful. No sudden movements, show your hands. Most gun owners carry almost wherever they go, and Alex was not the one who escalated the situation. Border Patrol threw someone to the ground and in an instant went to Alex. He didn't have the time to take any of those precautions, and he didn't once reach for his gun. Maybe Border Patrol agents should know the Second Amendment exists and not be totally flustered when someone is carrying a firearm. Look, I don't think Trump is blaming Alex for his death. It sounds 100% like he is. He says he wants a full investigation, but it is a fair point to say confronting law enforcement while concealing a gun while they're in the middle of an operation against a felon is probably not the smartest thing to do. He was filming from a distance and was approached. He did not escalate. You're arguing against First, Fourth, and now Second Amendment rights as well. Wake up. Even the NRA called this argument BS. Trump is not justifying. He's merely adding some context. Let the investigation play out. It sounds like a justification.
And all right, guys, we are live. Yo, this is Set with Set Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, guys, we're about to get into Trump's cabinet meeting. Then we're going to get into this possible government shutdown. And, of course, Trump tells Iran no nukes. We're going to get a little bit more into the details on that one, but let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video, guys, and let's get right into it.
Including the fact that we put out extinguished 8 wars, and another one we think is coming. Steve Witkoff's working very hard, and Jared and everybody else, and I think it's coming. It was just announced that the murder rate in our country is the biggest drop ever recorded. It's at the lowest level in 125 years. First in recorded history, it's the lowest in at least 125 years. It's a wonderful thing. And the crime is way down, and one of the reasons was we've taken a lot of bad people and gotten them out of our country. In some cases, they're so bad that we put them in prison because we don't want them to even take a chance of coming back in, even though our border is very secure, record-setting secure. We had 0 illegal aliens being admitted into our country for the last 8 months. That's hard for even me to believe, but the people that make up the lists are supposedly nonpartisan, but I would say they lean toward the Democrat side. And if they say that, I'm all for it. As you know, we've had a situation take place with respect to Venezuela. I want to just thank General Kane and his staff. Well, the job that they've done is incredible. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And once it did take place, I want to thank the leadership of Venezuela. We're getting along really well with them. The relationships have been very strong, very good. And they have
it does seem like the ex-Maduro regime, but Dulce Rodriguez is actually playing ball with us. She's playing ball with us. She's releasing political prisoners, which was Maria Cachado's political allies, the ones that didn't make it out of Venezuela got arrested, and because of the Trump administration, those people are being released.
Informed me that they feel there's very good security, very strong security. We're working with the various people involved, including Chris and Doug and everybody on the oil. We have the major oil companies going to Venezuela now, scouting it out and picking their locations, and they'll be bringing back tremendous wealth for Venezuela and for the United States, and the oil companies will do fine too. Venezuela will actually make for themselves more money than they've ever made before, and that's a good thing. And the people of
And remember, the goal with Venezuela when it comes to the oil is to go over there, pretty much upgrade their refineries, get them producing more oil. So not only we can benefit from it, but so can the people of Venezuela by being able to produce more oil. And of course, we're going to get into those natural resources like there's silver and gold. Like we need that as well. And for China and Russia to stay out of there.
Venezuela were literally in the streets waving American flags. They were so happy. And the people in our country, like in the Doral section of Miami, which is considered little Venezuela, they're thrilled. And I just spoke to the president of Venezuela, informed her that we're going to be opening up all commercial airspace over Venezuela. American citizens will be very shortly able to go to Venezuela, and they'll be safe there. They'll be safe. It's under very strong control.
It's ours now.
And the people of formerly of Venezuela, some want to go back and some want to go back to visit, and they're going to be able to do that. So I've instructed Sean Duffy and everybody else concerned, including the military, that if you would, by the end of today, I'd like you to have the airspace over Venezuela. Planes can go to Venezuela opened up. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank all of the people in Venezuela for what they went through, and I want to thank the leadership for really they're doing a good job. Mm-hmm. And just as I promised, we've defeated the Biden inflation nightmare and achieved explosive new economic growth. The Atlanta Fed is predicting an astounding 5.4% GDP growth in the fourth quarter. And that's despite the fact that we had a Democrat shutdown. That number would have been 7%, which is a number nobody's ever heard of. And we've been given great national security because of tariffs.
And let's be honest. Trump pretty much beat the prediction of the Dems when it came to tariffs. They said, well, we're going to have a recession. Well, we've had, positive GDP growth. So no recession. I mean, it's going to be inflationary. We're at 2.7 inflation. I mean, we was at 3 for a couple months, but no, inflation's actually been ticking down. And then, of course, oh my goodness, it's gonna raise prices extremely. And it's just like, well, if you look at the consumer price index, it's only been ticking up like 0.4. Actually, the highest is 0.7. And if we're looking at a baseline tariff of 10% or more, then I'm pretty sure, that 0.7 isn't tariffs.
And we've also been given unprecedented income because of tariffs. Part of the income that we gave, $12 billion, we gave to the farmers of our country, so that yesterday I was up in Iowa, and they were very happy, Madam Secretary. Yes, sir. They were very, very happy. They were great. So the GDP growth in the fourth quarter was great. And it's going to be, I think we're going to have an incredible year. Hopefully we won't have a shutdown. We're working on that right now. I think we're getting close. The Democrats, I don't believe, want to see it either. So we'll work in a very bipartisan way. I believe not to have a shutdown. We don't want a shutdown. And just yesterday, the S&P 500 hit 7,000 for the first time ever. It's never been any time at which it's done like that. And the other stocks also, I think 52 times for the Dow had hit a record high. But the 7,000 was not a number that was even thinkable if you go back a year ago.
And here's the thing. All these economic numbers are good, but a lot of it doesn't really trickle down to affordability for Americans. Now, of course, the inflation rate, that helps out on affordability, but GDP and all that good stuff, that doesn't really, help us out with affordability. It just lets us know that money is still circulating within the economy and businesses are still turning out a profit. Now, when it comes to affordability, we're still kind of getting kicked in the teeth a bit. Now, when I'm looking at the red states and pricing comparison to the blue states, I'm seeing that, in red states, we're paying 30% less in groceries. So I honestly do think, like I said, the Republicans need to hammer down on the fact that, we run more affordable places than the Democrats. And the numbers just prove that all the way out. I mean, you can even compare red cities to blue cities, and you'll see that, blue cities are always more expensive. Look at Abigail Spanberger that was elected in Virginia. She was elected on affordability, and then she raised their taxes. I don't think Democrats know how to create an affordable atmosphere.
So S&P hit 7,000 for the first time ever. The stock market has set, it's actually.
And shout out to my man Jeff for starting us off. He says, freedom, I think the shadow ban is over. Man, let's effing go. You know what? I think so too. I think so too. But all right, guys. Oh, yeah, guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. If you have any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to read it out loud, just like my man Jet. Just $2 and up. Appreciate the support, guys.
53, 52, 53, all-time record highs since the election, adding $9 trillion in value to savings, retirement accounts, and 401ks. And I mean, everybody benefits, but we have record stock markets. Companies have never done well. And most importantly, if you think about it, after 4 years in which Biden got much less than $1 trillion of investment into our country, actually, it was taken over 11 months, even though we're 12 months. In 11 months, we've taken in more than $18 trillion. So they did less than $1 trillion, Scott, in a period of 4 years. And we've done $18 trillion in less than 1 year. So there's never been anything like that. No other.
Yeah, most of that, the $18 trillion in investment that Trump loves to brag about, which is a good thing, by the way, but it's mainly due to manufacturing promises coming back. So reshoring of manufacturing back to the United States and the promising of purchasing American energy. Like, I think the best one would be like South Korea's promised to purchase like $650 billion in American energy. And then, oh yeah, weapon sales, because I forgot, I think it was Saudi Arabia that wanted to buy $1 trillion in jets, or military weaponry from the United States. And so has Qatar. They also put in a hefty order for some jets. So this is the trillions of dollars that's coming into the United States.
Country has done those numbers, by the way, in history. 10 years ago, one country did 3 trillion. No other. We did $18 trillion is being invested now. Thousands of businesses, plants, equipment all over the country are being built right now. And they're going to be opening pretty soon. And when they open, you'll see numbers like nobody's ever seen before. The economy is doing amazingly well. I wish the press would report it, but people are finding out. They're seeing it. It's coming. It's becoming pretty evident. It's hard to hide. Biden inflation, which is really stagflation, cost the typical family $34,000. Think of that, $34,000. But after 1 year, growth in real incomes is outpacing inflation by more than $3,000 under Trump. So one cost $34,000 and one made $3,000. That's a big swing. Gasoline has plunged to, think of this, over $4 a gallon, depending on where you are. In California, it's $7, $8 a gallon. While I was in Iowa, and they had $1.85 because I had it at $1.99 a gallon. And I was corrected by two farmers that said, I just bought my gasoline for $1.85.
And it's kind of crazy because a lot of blue states actually have policies, laws, taxes in place to make your gasoline more expensive. So yes, there's a reason why you're paying like $5 to $7 at the tank. And I'm over here in Ohio paying like what? $2.60, $2.75 at most. Like, man, there's a huge difference or a huge discrepancy in what we pay from red states to blue states. And this is why I guess a lot of people in the blue states say prices have not gone nowhere. And you know what? I feel you on that. But you might want to check in with your mayor and governor on that note, because they're adding a whole lot of taxes that you most likely don't know about.
So, Chris, you have to be doing something right, you and Doug, right? But I don't want to give you too much confidence. You got to keep it going. We're drilling, I think I can say we're drilling more than at any time ever in the history. We're taking out more energy out of our land, but specifically, if you look at oil and gas, we've never been anywhere even close. Is that a correct statement?
That's correct. All-time records.
Yeah, great. It's a great job. Well, it's supply and demand. So that's going down rapidly. And, when energy goes down, everything else goes down. They tried to do their thing. It was a disaster. Then they ran back very late to the Trump policy, but they didn't do the Trump policy. They cut leases. They did everything that they could do, but they lost it. And they were very high. And we're now less than $2 in many areas, $2.30 a gallon average. Grocery prices, airfares, hotels, car payments, and rent prices are coming down very fast. And you don't hear the word affordability issued by the Democrats anymore. Now they're going into other things because they're getting beaten badly on affordability. Remember that
I wouldn't say that.
when-
Like Trump, I would not say that. I would say they'd still be complaining about affordability if he wasn't dealing with what was going on in Minnesota. I'll be quite honest with you. I think the Dems would be talking about affordability still if those ICE shootings didn't happen in Minnesota. And look, now, if you want to know my opinion on the Renee Goodwin, she put herself in that situation. I hate that she died and all that good stuff. Trust me, nobody deserves to die. But people do put themselves in situations where they could have saved their own life, and that was Renee Good. Alex Petty, let's wait for the body cams to come out. Because I'm going to be real with you. I mean, what was it? The officer hitting him with the paint can? Unacceptable. But it does look like when they took the gun off him, his gun might have accidentally discharged, and this might have been the reason why they all opened fire. I'm not sure. I'm just going from my own speculation. But let's wait for these body cams to come out.
I was elected, I came into office, I inherited a total mess, starting with eggs, which were 4 times higher than they were just a year before. And Brooke got them down very quickly before Easter. They said they wanted me to buy plastic eggs for the egg hunt at the very famous egg hunt.
And another reason why the Dems don't talk about affordability, guys, is that, well, Zohran Mamdani is having problems making things affordable, and he just figured out that New York has a $12 billion deficit that they got to take on. And like I said, then there's Abigail Spanberger in Virginia who ran on affordability, and she's not made one thing more affordable. Not one thing. Actually, she actually put in some racist policies. Apparently in Virginia now, like if you're a white male contractor, they will no longer give you government contracts. They will give it to you if you're, well, a white woman or a minority. So if you're a woman and a minority, I mean, and you're a contractor, hey, yo, Virginia's the place for you.
At the White House, sir, would you buy plastic eggs? And we buy a lot of like 100,000 eggs. And I said, we're not going to buy plastic eggs. And by the time we had the egg hunt, a few months later, we had the prices down pretty good. And now they're really low. Now they're at a very low level. So we really have, you don't hear the word affordability because we inherited very high prices and we inherited the highest inflation in 48 years. I say the history of our country. I think it sounds almost the same. Actually, I think 48 years sounds actually worse for some reason. So I'll go with the 40 because the press corrected me. I said history and they said, it's not history, it's 48 years. I said, I'll accept that. And we had the highest inflation in 48 years. We have now as you saw yesterday with the Fed, I'm not a fan of his. He said that inflation essentially is not a factor. It's really been pretty amazing. I just put out a statement about
Yeah, well, once again, too late Powell, as Trump calls him, pissed him off by not lowering the Fed rate because he's seeing good numbers. And this is the problem with Powell is, like I said, he's a reactive and not a proactive. If everything is going good, he'll stop cutting rates and all that good stuff, even though cutting rates was showing positive, or a positive reverberation throughout the economy. Now that things are looking good, well, he's like, no, we don't need to cut rates anymore. Let's just stop it. And Trump's like, no, keep it going. No, we need lower rates. He's like, nah, we're doing well, man. You can wait. Oh, and it's either that or this is his last rebellious phase before he's out of here.
Statements. I won't repeat them here because they're too angry. And thanks to our tax cuts, millions of Americans will soon receive record-setting tax refunds. You're going to get a lot of tax refunds, with the average refund expected to be over $1,000 higher than it has been at any time. So we're going to be getting some pretty good refunds, a lot of people. If congressional Democrats had their way, Americans would right now be facing the largest tax hike ever. Their proposal was to raise taxes very substantially. And our proposal, which is in the great, big, beautiful New Deal. It's a New Deal in its own way. It's a Republican version of the New Deal. Right behind you is a nice picture of FDR. This is a much better deal than the FDR deal. But we have the great big...
Oh, guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video. If you're on the vertical and if you're on the horizontal, make sure to just like the video, guys. Appreciate the support. And like I said, any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to read it out loud if you just send a super chat in. Or, hey, you might be lucky. I might just catch it in the chat. You never know.
Beautiful bill. And it's given tremendous tax cuts and a lot of other things. People are now finding out how good it is. And it's just kicked in as of January 1st, by the way. So we're really starting to see it, even though it's a month, we're really starting to see it. The U.S. economy would be cratering if they had won this election. Our country would be in very bad shape, would be maybe not much of a country anymore. I don't think it would be a country anymore. They were doing everything wrong, but they were going to give you the largest tax hike in history, and we're giving you the largest tax cut in history in the great, big, beautiful bill. In addition, I think it's very good. I think it's very important. You have no tax on over.
Look, Dems, I understand. And he was like, it's tax cuts for billionaires set. And I get it. But you got to understand here, if we don't give these tax cuts to these billionaires, they can take their jobs somewhere else and, manufacture over there. And let's be real. Since you guys didn't believe in tariffs and you guys are all for free trade, you'd have let the gutting of the middle class continue while all the jobs go overseas because you want to tax the rich. I mean, trust me, it ain't the fix-all plan you think it is.
No tax on tips and no tax on Social Security, but you also you're getting this is the first time this ever happened. If you buy a car, you go out and borrow money, you get an interest deduction. You take the interest rate, the interest that you're paying on the loan, you're able to deduct it for income tax purposes. So that's a first ever, and I think it's going to be great for everybody, including the car companies. I was in Detroit 3 weeks ago. I went to the Ford factory, spoke to the General Motors people. It's all the same. They're doing better than they've ever done. The factory I went to was like a World War I, earlier than World War I factory, opened up, one of the oldest buildings, but one of the biggest. And Ford was getting ready to close it a couple of years ago. And then they saw that I was doing well and it looked like I would have a good chance of winning. And they kept it going, barely going. And last week they announced, during my visit, they announced that they're going to round the clock production. They never thought it was. I said, did you ever think? I spoke with Bill Ford. And
well, what Trump is talking about is how Ford pretty much went from talking about shutting down to pretty much turning around and be like, well, no, we're not going to shut down. Actually, we're going to add $1 billion to one of our campuses. And that's exactly what they did. They made one of their campuses bigger and they're going to create more jobs with that. And I mean, that's just the upside of these car tariffs that Trump imposed. Any car that's not made in America, 25% tariff. Of course, then they get, financing with that as well, or special privileges when it comes to financing. And that's just going to help out any car made in America at that point. So you see that all of these car companies are actually starting to reshore. We still got some stubborn ones, but we'll see how that works out.
And the president of Ford, they were both there, and they said, we can't even believe it. We were going to close this building 2 years ago, and now it's going round the clock. He said, we cannot. I mean, they said, we wish it was twice the size, but they're now building additional plants in the United States, as is everybody else. You have AI building, but the car companies, I love the car companies, and you have them. They're all coming back. They're coming back from Mexico. They're coming back from Canada. They're coming back from Japan. And they're coming back from Germany, all over Europe. They're coming back. They're building here because they want to avoid the tariffs. They don't want to pay the 15%, in some cases 25% tariff. Could be a lot higher than that if it wasn't working. So because of that, they're all coming back. One statistic yesterday that Scott told me is that for the first time ever, tell them about the steel and Japan, that we are now making more steel. Go ahead, please.
So yesterday they reported for the first time in 26 years, the United States of America produced more steel than Japan. And that is entirely driven by your tariffs.
Huh.
I think of that.
I mean, no shit. I mean, you got to give it to him on that note. It worked. The steel tariff worked. And like I said, by putting a 55% tariff on steel and aluminum, he made local companies rely on American steel more, put into production for American steel. The lie that the libs told you, oh, well, we don't got enough steel producers. Yes, the F we do. We always had enough steel producers, except China was watering down their steel and selling it below market price. I mean, look what's going on in Europe. They're having a problem with being flooded by this watered down Chinese steel and aluminum. So since we blocked them out, our producers are actually, the people who actually need the steel are actually getting more orders in, thus production is going up because these companies can't sit there and rely on the watered down steel of China.
Obviously said that much better than I did because I got no applause. And I'm giving you home run after home run. He says one thing and everybody. I should have saved that one for myself. No, but think of it. First time in they read almost 30 years, but I guess it's what, 26, 27 years that we are now producing more steel than Japan. Japan being a big steel producer.
No.
Japan and other countries really took our steel production away from us. Now, if you think of
Like, yeah, if you look up the top 20 steel companies in the world, it mainly consists of China and Japan just hanging there at the top. And I think we come in there at the bottom 20. It's like crazy.
this, 3-4 years ago, the steel companies were all closing up. We worked a fantastic deal with U.S. Steel. We saved U.S. Steel. And now it's all coming about. But and that's just the beginning. There are a lot of steel plants right now being built. So it's an amazing number. Nobody would have believed that. If you would have said that 3, 4, 5 years ago, people would have said, "Yeah, it's not a true fact." But so it has to be true because otherwise you question me. You question me on everything. I have to be extremely accurate. I don't exaggerate it. I don't want to exaggerate because you will call me. You don't call other people, but you would call me under my most favored nation spot, which I think is the most important thing, Bobby, of all. What we've done because we're bringing drug prices down by 80, 90%, depending on the way. You could say 5, 6, 7, 800%. Depends on the way you want to calculate it, right? But let's go the old-fashioned way. But drug prices for prescription drugs will be down 80, 90%, 75%, 68%. They've only gone up for years and years and years. They've only gone up, and now we're going to have
Oh God, do me a favor, man. We got like 200 y'all in here, man. Double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. Your boy just beat the shadow ban, so you know what? We gonna go in today.
Actually, the most favored nation. We're going to have the most favored price in the whole world. Whatever the lowest price in the world is, that's what we're going to.
And if you wonder what he means by most favored nation pricing, he's talking about pharmaceutical companies. Now, if you don't know, pharmaceutical companies make 70% of their profits from, well, America by charging us higher. I mean, sometimes 100% higher prices on our favorite pharmaceuticals or needed pharmaceuticals than other countries. And most favored nation is what, well, these pharmaceutical companies charge their I would say this, the lowest price that the pharmaceutical company charge a nation. They call that the most favored nation because they're paying the lowest price for a specific drug. Trump says, no, I want that price. You're no longer going to get up on us. So it's either you're going to find a median price or we're going to pay the same price as that most favored nation. And shout out to Trump for standing up to the pharmaceutical companies for doing that, because Lord knows there's not too many politicians with enough testicle fortitude to stand up to big pharma. I mean, let's be real. I mean, look how everybody bent the knee during COVID.
Pay, and I don't want to go into a big deal, but nobody else could have gotten this but this administration. I'm being very nice when I say that. The cost of prescription drugs is coming down by a number that was never even thought of. This will have a huge impact on healthcare, by the way, because obviously drugs are a big part of healthcare, and it will help repair some of the Unaffordable Care Act's damage that they've done, because the Unaffordable Care Act, which is Obamacare, it's unaffordable. It's not affordable, and it's a disaster. And hopefully we will be paying money directly to the people instead of giving the insurance companies the money. They'll go into a healthcare savings account or whatever it is. But think of it. We pay the money, billions and billions, really trillions of dollars going to insurance companies. We want that money to go to the people. They buy their own healthcare. And it's so popular. The problem we have is the Democrats are owned by the insurance companies. They're literally owned lock, stock, and barrel by the insurance companies. And they hate it. But the people love it, including all Democrats. So I think we'll perhaps be successful with it. But it was an idea I had. I read the papers, and I'm reading one of the stories about the insurance companies, how much money they're making, where they received, billions and billions of dollars for this stuff from the United States of America, and their stock has gone up by 1,400%.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Now, the HA subsidies, yeah, they were passing the House for a 3-year extension. They're being moved to the Senate, so we'll see what comes of that. So, because it does seem like the Senate wants it to be watered down from a 3-year extension to a 2-year extension. So, trust me, the HA subsidies did expire. They're expired, but they're still working to see if they can get them extended. It does seem like Trump, with his great healthcare plan, is pushing back on that with the healthcare savings account. So we'll see what comes out of that. Because remember, his plan is to take those billions of dollars instead of giving it to the insurance companies so they can steady raising healthcare premiums, which is not making anything affordable. Instead of giving it to them, he wants to give it to the American consumer the customer, and these guys can go ahead and lower their prices due to competition by trying to win these customers over. So we'll see how that works out.
Think of it, 1,400. One went up 1,700%. Numbers went up. If you go up 1,000%, you're doing bad in that business, right? And it's all because of the money. Not all, but mostly because of the money the United States pays to the insurance companies. They say, this is big stuff. And I asked somebody, why don't we just pay the people directly? And they said, that's a good idea. You know, it's funny, it's a very complicated business, but actually it's not so complicated. And I went to Bobby and I went to Dr. Oz. I said, can I talk to you guys about this?
Oh, guys, you got any question, comments, jokes, or disagreements? I'll be happy to read it out loud and engage with it. I mean, trust me, I'm a pretty fair person when it comes to engaging with the left and the right. But yeah, like I said, just $2 and up. Happy to read it out loud, and you help us towards our goal to get the calling line open, and hopefully we can get some of you guys up here, supporters and haters alike. Trump haters.
Is this the kind of money the insurance companies get? Yes. Why don't we pay the people
I ain't do nothing to y'all
directly? And the primary answer was that the Democrats will never go along with it, but the people go along with it because I put it out. It went viral. It went viral. Susie, I went all over the place. It became the biggest story. I just said it. And so I think we have a great situation if we can do it. But if you think most favored nation policy for drugs will bring your drug prices down and levels. So now if they're selling a pill for $10 in London and $130 in New York, the London price will go up to $20 and we'll go down to $20. So we'll go from 130 down to 20. And by the way, tariffs did it again because the drug company said, we'll do it begrudgingly.
Yep.
They were okay.
Begrudgingly.
But we'll do it, but no nation's going to approve it because even if you raise the price by, like on a pill, $10 to $20, you're doubling the price of their prescription drugs. I said, no, they'll do it. And when I got them on the phone, I said, if you don't do it, we're going to charge you very substantial tariffs, more money than that's going to cost you. And they said, we'll do it. And
I mean, he put 100% sector Pacific tariff on the pharmaceutical companies. And what did they do? AstraZeneca is now building a manufacturing plant in Maryland. And if you don't know who AstraZeneca is, it's a pharmaceutical company. I mean, that's with 100% tariff. I mean, you put 100% tariff on chips and semiconductors. And now what's happening? Well, we got semiconductor companies coming here. And I mean, it's actually funny. I know the Dems, I know the more intelligent of you guys disagree with the whole, the blanket tariffs, but you actually like the sector Pacific ones. So, I mean, at least we can agree on that one.
Or I don't know that any other president even tried to do it. We can't find it. But if they did try, they wouldn't have gotten through the companies. They wouldn't have gotten through the company, and then they wouldn't have gotten through the country. I spoke with Macron. He was the first one. He was not at that time wearing sunglasses. And he said, no, Donald, I will not do this. I will not. I won't even consider, you're asking me to double the price. I said, you have no choice. You have to do it because you guys have been ripping us off. In other words, the whole world, we've been subsidizing the whole world on drug costs. That's why they were $10.
And this is one of the reasons why the world or Europe is really mainly upset with us when it comes to this most favored nation pricing and seeking a good deal, is because their prices got to go up. It's like, I'm gonna be real with you. The pharmaceutical companies, like, look, if we're paying like, I don't know, $20 a pill for this, and then Australia is over here paying like $5 a pill. Look, man, these pharmaceutical companies is not going to take an L and just be like, all right, America, you're paying $5 too now. No, what they're going to do is drop us down to 10 and raise them up to 10, and they're going to find that median price that everybody can be okay with. Now, but here's the problem, though. Our prices can only go down. We're already paying the highest price, but their prices, they got some room to go up, and that's what's going to piss a lot of them off. But it is funny, like I say, as soon as America starts looking out for ourselves, we're tripping.
We'd be at 130. As an example, there were many examples. I could give you examples even worse. He said, no, 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 I will not do that. And I said, yes, you will. 100% you'll do it. He said, no, I won't do that, Donald. You're asking me to double the cost of our prescription. We will not do that. I mean, look, you've been ripping us off now for decades. We're not going to do it anymore. You can do it under Biden and Obama and other people. You're not going to do it under us. We won't do it. I said, well, if you don't do it, I'm going to charge you a 25% tariff on all of your wine, champagne, and everything else you sell into the United States. He said, like I said, I will do it. And that was the end of the conversation, right? That was the end of the conversation. So now we have favored nations that everybody said would be impossible to get. And I then had the same conversation with 15 other countries. Every one of them agreed. After a short conference, they all said no. And then within a matter of seconds, they said, we would be very happy to do that. Thank you for asking in such a nice way. And it's a great achievement. I think it's going to be one of the best achievements we've had in this country in a long time. So we're going to be knocking drug prices down at levels never seen before. I want to thank the drug companies because once they agreed, they really did. They felt it was very unfair. One of them told me it's actually a relief to agree because this has been just a rough thing for me, to justify it, because they couldn't justify it. I said, how come in London I can buy something for $10 and in New York I have to pay $130? And they go, well, it's research and development. I said, yeah, but you have research and development from them.
I'll be real with you. The only way you could sell it is like, look, man, you're doing a good for the world. You pay more for y'all drugs, and everybody else in the world can pay less. You're helping out the African countries. I mean, the impoverished countries. Like, come on now. Come on, America, have some heart and pay 75% more for your prescriptions. Like, come on now. It's like, yeah, can't do it no more. It's getting a bit unaffordable.
Made in the same factory, made in everything. This is where my friend, who's very successful, I told you, a seriously overweight person, he takes the fat pill or the fat shot. And he was in London and he said, costs $87 there, costs $1,300 in New York. What's going on? He called me up. And I mean, I knew that, but he put it in a very blunt way. I've known him a long time. He's a crude individual, but smart as hell, made a lot of money. But he just thought it was sort of ridiculous. He happened to be in London and he got the shot, Ozempic, I think, or one of them. And
It's the only one
I
I
told
know.
him it wasn't working. It was for him. It didn't work. But he brought up a good point. It didn't work. I told him, he knows who I'm talking about. He's going crazy. He begs me not to mention
Not
his
talking
name.
about me, ladies.
Yo, and shout out to my man Juicebox. He says Seth been looking swole in those thumbnails. Hey, I appreciate that, my man. I appreciate that. Shout out my man Juicebox. Straight out of Canada. I forgot you was from Canada. Crazy.
Not our great vice president. No, but he begs me not to mention his name because he's become very famous without
Actually, no, you need to tell your boy Carney to chill with this whole Chinese alignment thing he's got going on. It's like, damn, we piss him off and now he runs over there to China. Like, really, bro? And he's our neighbor. It's like, come on, man. That ain't cool.
mentioning his name. And he is actually a very well-known business person. But he did make a point. But I knew the point very well. We were always paying far more than any other nation. We were subsidizing the world. Right now, there's no more of that. So we're going to be bringing the drug prices down at numbers never seen before. It's going to have a huge impact, positive impact on healthcare. So with that, we are going to ask a couple of people to say a few words. We're not going to go through the whole table because the last time we had a press conference, it lasted for 3 hours.
And that boy Trump was sleeping in the back. No, I ain't gonna lie though. That was funny. Like the last one was like 3 hours and like 30 minutes. And this man Trump was just there, just like just froze. Like you could just tell he just froze, stand up, just trying to listen to people and all that. I was like, yeah, yeah, we need to go ahead and cut these in half. And that's why it's now only an hour and 27 minutes.
People said he closed his eyes. Look, it got pretty boring. In all fairness, I love these people. I love these people.
He real.
But there's a lot of people. It was a little bit at the boring side. But I didn't sleep. I just closed them because I wanted to get the hell out of here. Some of them, I didn't sleep, by the way. I don't sleep much. But you know, it's funny. Some of them got me in a blink. You know, when you go like, you know, and they took me as at the closed segment of my cycle. They said he's sleeping. And besides that, Marco, between these two guys, if I was sleeping, they'd be waking me up very fast. They'd be knocking me, come on, you got to wake up, boss. But no, we've had great meetings. Look, we're the most transparent presidency by far, and I love going around the room. But we're going to pick a few people. I think I would like to ask Steve if he could just give us a brief description of how well we're doing in the Middle East, because we have peace in the Middle East now. There's a couple of little minor flames that we put out very easily. And very importantly, we got our last hostage.
I don't know about that. It seemed like things are heating up in the Middle East. Trump, I mean, this man just sent out a truth post all over the internet for everybody to see, talking about, oh, well, you know, Iran, no nukes. You better come to this deal. And I'm just going like, now, are we actually like debating? I mean, not debating, but negotiating in good faith? Because, you know, we say we want Iran to have no nukes, and I don't want them to have nukes. Trust me. No, well, nobody in this chat really wants them to have nukes. Well, actually, I'm not going to say nobody. But the problem is, though, that, well, we've never proved they had nukes. They had a facility, but we never found no nuclear weapons. And then here's the thing. Even when they promised to get rid of that, we switch it around, or this is what they did the first time. We pretty much switched around and said, all right, well, we know you said you're going to give up your nukes, but now we want you to give up your missiles as well. And that's just a non-negotiable. Like, here's the thing. As much as I would love for Iran to agree to that, I already know that's non-negotiable.
It's back, which is incredible. Unfortunately, this was something that nobody said could be done. And I will tell you, Hamas was a big factor in getting all of the hostages back. We were not happy with them, and they had to bring them back, and they found the dead hostages, the bodies of hostages.
Yeah, all hostages alive and dead has now been returned. So, I mean, thank God for that.
And those parents wanted their sons back, I think in all cases sons, but they wanted their sons and their family. They wanted their sons back as much as the people that had living hostages that we got them back to. So we got the 20, but remember, we got hundreds back previous to that. But I always said getting those last 20 back is going to be very tough. And we got them back, and we got all of the bodies back also, which to those parents was just as important as getting back the son that was living. Steve, could you give us a little description, please?
Well, your policy of peace through strength, that's what delivered them home. Without that pressure, it never happens. We are in the second phase now. We've stood up for the first time, Mr. President, on your behalf, a technocratic, all Arab.
But all right, guys, now we're going to go ahead and switch out of this, and let's get over to the right side of media. Let's start out on Fox News with our guy, Jesse Waters. Then we're going to make our way over to CNN and ABC.
Fox News alert. We were told Alex Preddy was just a peaceful nurse at the wrong place at the wrong time, delivering first aid to an injured protester. Well, we just obtained new video days before the shooting of a man who appears to be Preddy being not so peaceful. The Preddy family attorney and family members.
Bro kicked the light off. Oh yeah. Oh, this man crazy. And this is Alex Preddy. Like I said, the man still didn't deserve to die, but let's not sit out here and act like, oh, he was a peaceful protester.
Place at the wrong time, delivering first aid to an injured protester. Well, we just obtained new video days before the shooting of a man who appears to be Preddy being not so peaceful. The Preddy family attorney and family members confirmed to the Minnesota Star Tribune that the person in the video is Preddy. CNN reported that Preddy had a broken rib from an altercation with federal agents a week before his death. CNN claimed Preddy was just driving around minding his own business when he saw ICE agents chasing an immigrant family down the street. He went after them, jumped out of his car to help the family, then was tackled. Now, if this is the incident, it looks like CNN had bad sources. This video shows the individual with similar clothing, and what looks and appears to be a handgun in the same place that it was at the time of the shooting, kicking the taillight out of a federal vehicle in the middle of an apprehension operation, and then violently resisting arrest. At one point, it even looks like he spits at the window of the ICE agent's vehicle. Homeland Security tells us the video's under investigation. This doesn't mean that his shooting a week later was justified. That's still under investigation. But it does paint a different picture of who Preddy was and the kind of violent attacks that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. We should have waited for stuff like this to come out instead of Christy Gnomes and Bovino coming out saying, oh, he's a domestic terrorist, he's an assassin. Stephen Miller, like, oh, he's an assassin. He was trying to walk up to cause maximal damage. And let's be real, the footage does not show that whatsoever. I'm not sure why they went out with that rhetoric. They only made themselves look dumb doing it. And instead, they could have just waited for this to come out and then, give their opinions on that, or, tell us what they see with this new footage that's being released. But just jumping off the porch, oh, they're all domestic terrorists. Yeah, that's not it. I mean, even with Renee Good, they're trying to call her domestic terrorist. And I'm just like, no, sorry, guys. Like, did she put herself in that situation to get shot? Is that shot going to go down in self-defense? Of course. Alex Petty, honestly, same thing. But this one may not. It's just a wrongful death. This one, both of them are wrongful deaths. But in Alex Petty's part, it looks like there was a gun that went off or that might have misfired. It ended up to him getting shot like that.
ICE and Border Patrol have to deal with while they're arresting criminal aliens. The same thing happened with Renee Good. The media tells us she was just a random woman stuck in traffic after dropping her kid off at school. But later we learned she was a trained ICE Watch warrior out to cause trouble. Again, that doesn't mean.
What a lot of people don't understand is that, look, one, I mean, let's be honest. When 4 officers tell you to get out the car, if you got common sense, you're going to get out the car. I would hope.
ICE Watch.
Now,
warrior.
when an officer is literally trying to open your door, common sense, would tell you, no, maybe I should have moved my car back. I would hope it would tell you that. And here's the crazy, when she moved her car back, she put the ICE officer in front of the car when she did that.
Out to cause trouble.
And that's why it surprised them.
That doesn't mean she deserved to die. But the media is whipping people up with phony obituaries.
I mean, the worst part about it is that, left-wing media is like, oh, murder, murder, murder. But I'm like, what happened to due process? What happened to innocent till proven guilty? And you guys can't prove that he came out there premeditated, wanting to kill her. He didn't even know her until that day. Didn't even really know her name, most likely.
That don't tell the whole story. It's why Democrats running for office are flocking to Minneapolis for photo ops.
In a real sense, this is holy ground. Consecrated by blood spilled here. I had to be here to stand in the very place where this tragedy unfurled, not only for Alex Preddy, but for Renee Good, for George Floyd.
Reverend Warnock just suggested Floyd and the 2 ICE watchers were like Jesus. It's a crime scene, not a cross, Reverend. Laken Riley was Warnock's constituent in Georgia. I never saw him broken up about her, but now he's flying to other states and crying. Tim Walz made an appearance at the memorial today. Watch.
We're just personally paying our respects.
Sure.
My wife and I.
And do you believe that there will be a shift in tone here from the administration after your conversation with the president here on the streets?
I'm not so interested in a shift of tone. We just need them out of here, and we need accountability for what's happening.
No, dog. You need a shift in tone. You put your people up to this because you want to call them Gestapo and Nazis, which they're not. You wanted to sit there and put the fear in your people, talking about, oh, they'll disappear you and take you to a foreign torture dungeon. All words Tim Walz has said, by the way. Yeah, you don't think that's going to cause some type of unnecessary fear, like, in these people? Because let's be real, the reason why Renee Good acted like that, she overreacted because out of fear of what she's been hearing. Well, Tim Walz say, left-wing media say, they're Gestapos, Nazis, they want to take you away and disappear you. Now, what do you think people are going to do when they hear that rhetoric all day and they finally come in contact with ICE? They're going to overreact. And this is what you guys have led people to do. Like Tim Walz is the worst offender. And here's the thing. I mean, what makes it even worse is he could have brought in the National Guard to help with the protests instead of just protecting federal buildings. And that would have kept people like Renee Good and Alex Petty alive. I mean, Jacob Fry, he could have brought in national police. Working with efforts with, local towns and cities, he could have brought in their police as well to help out with crowd enforcement or crowd control. I mean, all this could have been done, but it wasn't. And now y'all want to sit here and try to blame it like it's all on ICE. I mean, no, this is the failure of leadership in Minneapolis and Minnesota.
Walz is speaking out of both sides of his mouth. On the phone with Trump, he says he's going to work with ICE as long as Bovino leaves and cooperate and hand over the bad guys. Then he hits the streets and tells the press ICE has got to go. Yesterday, the mob stormed into the Capitol building and hollered at his office. Why? Oh, because they said Tim's a traitor for doing business with Trump and Homan.
Yep.
Tom Homan's professional, which is a lot more than Bovino and Kristi Noem. Tom Homan landed last night.
And that's what I said. I feel bad for the Democratic base because y'all basically you radicalize your base too much. You radicalize them too much. Now, when you're doing the common sense thing, showing that common decency, or actually going out there trying to protect your constituents, they think you're betraying them. It's like, yeah, you walked yourself into this by calling ICE Gestapo. Now they're thinking that you're working with the Gestapo and Nazis by talking to Homan. Off your own rhetoric, Tim Walz, his own rhetoric.
And he called me last night and asked if he could have a meeting, and he was there at 9 o'clock. So, look, I think that's progress, but they started this fire, so we're not giving anybody credit for putting it out.
Walz keeps changing his tune depending on who he's talking to because he's under investigation by the Department of Justice. One case for obstructing federal law enforcement, another for Somali fraud. Walz needed to broker an ICE peace deal with Trump. PBD was on primetime last night. Watch this.
I think he's also trying to make sure he's protected long term. I don't know what happens on these calls. I would only say I don't know what he's going to ask for. Wink, wink. Hey, if I work with you on this, can I get a pardon? I don't know what the guy's going to be asking the president. These guys have a lot of audacity.
Look at Walz today, sending out fundraising messages, asking for money so he can hire lawyers. The email says, if you're with me, please rush a donation. Walz is going to have to spend hundreds.
I mean, like, you see this? It's like, bro, I'm going to be real with you, ma'am. You're misinformed. Actually, you're truly uninformed. You're probably one of those uneducated people that think, oh, ICE, they're untrained when they're mostly veterans and ex-law enforcement. You're probably, well, no, he doesn't have dignity or compassion. Like, how could you sit there and say that when he could have been brought out the National Guard, been brought out local police and surrounding local police to protect his constituents, but didn't? He let them become protesters and cross that line into obstruction that's been getting these people hurt and killed. But you say he has compassion for his people? Are you dumb? Compassion for his people. He'd have took the proactive approach to make sure that this could have never even happened. Make sure there's crowd control. And guess what? The only time he brings out the police for crowd control is when they're harming private property. So no, he doesn't give a damn about his people. And how can you even sit there and say that after this? When there should have been crowd control out there to keep Renee Good out of the street, so that would have never happened. To keep Alex Petty out the street, so that would have never happened. So how can you even sit there and fix your fingers to even type that?
Of thousands of dollars defending himself in the Somali fraud case. And he's broke. Just in 2024, he disclosed he only has between $15,000 and $50,000 in cash and in savings. It's going to cost at least 50 G's for the retainer. These guys charge $1,000 to $2,000 an hour to fight federal charges. Hunter Biden spent between $5 and $10 million on lawyers, or his sugar daddy did. Does Walz have a sugar daddy? I don't think so. And Walz can't take a line of credit out on
he didn't need it in the end. He got pardoned.
His house because he doesn't own one. In federal investigations like this, prosecutors are going to get targets to flip and name big names. Omar, Keith Ellison, Walz, he's the biggest. We already know he blew off whistleblowers, and his staff was caught doctoring documents in a cover-up, while millions of dollars are flying out of the Minneapolis airport. Maybe some money winds up in the hands of terrorists. Walz could lose everything if he's found guilty. Of course, he's going to hand over the bad hombres. That's what any rational person would do in his position. But Trump prosecutors aren't done. Just last night, Homeland Security took down 16 ICE rioters. Pam Bondi flew into town, and she says she's about to bring a boatload of cases. These aren't your run-of-the-mill, salt-of-the-earth, peace and love protesters. These guys are hardcore. The women are gnarly. Even Somalis. This is Nasra Ahmed. We don't really know what she does or who she is, but Minnesota Democrats brought her out and let her tell her story last week. Listen.
I remember this.
To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's like a cultural fusion.
I mean, y'all couldn't find a more intelligent Somali. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna be honest. You couldn't find a more well-spoken young lady to do this for her. You couldn't give her a spokesman, because this makes her look bad. I'm being quite honest with you, because bruh.
It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of
it's like
banana
bananas
and rice.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I don't believe in this personally, but I see why they be trying to say these people got a 67 average IQ, bro. Because, you know, guys, it can be so confusing sometimes being up there and all that good stuff. It can leave a very unpleasant taste or feel like, you know, like bananas and rice.
We're not really sure what that means, but she was just arrested for assaulting federal cops.
Oh.
The whole thing's gotten kind of weird in Minneapolis. Last night, Omar held a town hall and someone stood up and squirted her with some liquid.
I don't know.
Unacceptable.
Oh my God, he's spraying something.
Here's the thing, though. As much as I don't really like Ilhan Omar or anything she really says, I don't think she should be attacked whatsoever. It's like, I remember I said this is like, look, I may not like Kamala Harris or really any of these Democratic women, but you better not touch a hair on their head. Like, at the end of the day, one, they're still a woman and they're an American woman. So, I mean, as a man, they're under your protection. So to sit there and wish any type of harm on any of these women is unacceptable. And I'm be real with you, you're not really a real man. I mean, regardless of their political ideology, you shouldn't wish harm on anybody. I mean, and especially women. Like, come on now.
Now, thank God that wasn't some sort of chemical agent. She could have been seriously hurt. CNN confirmed that it was just a little apple cider vinegar. Trump said it wouldn't surprise him if it was an inside job, but so far there's no evidence of that. But the FBI is investigating, and they'll find out exactly what happened. But if you want to talk about crazy, former Governor Jesse the Body Ventura, no relation, is calling on Minnesota to secede from the union.
How about since Trump dislikes Minnesota so bad and we're so out of control, let's join Canada. Instead of Canada becoming the 51st state of America and lose their health care, like they said, I'd like to see Minnesota, all of us become Canadians. It's obvious Donald Trump don't want us.
We love Minnesota. It's like one of the most beautiful states in the union. We just don't like it when they steal $8 billion and harbor foreign child molesters. Wisconsin.
No, that's the funniest part about it. Like, somebody in the chat just did this right here. They said, like, here's, this, like, people like this are hilarious to me. You want to know why? Because, these ICE protesters, they're protecting pedophiles, right? They're like helping pedophiles get away from ICE law enforcement. Renee Good, when they was doing their little investigation or operation, they was looking for a child molester. So here you guys are crying about Trump and pedophilia. And I mean, trust me, there's no proof on that. There's nothing you can show me that substantiates that. But here you guys are protesting in the streets, protecting pedophiles. I mean, I'm sorry, but y'all lost the argument on that. And no, look it up. When ICE is actually going out there and you guys are protesting them, getting in their way, you're protecting pedophiles pretty much.
Washington's not doing that. Michigan's not doing that. What kind of state riots to keep killers and fraudsters on their streets? Other Democrats are jealous that Tampon's getting all of this resistance press, so now they're all using the N-word.
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them. If we have to hunt you down the way they hunted down Nazis for decades, we will find your identity.
So you don't think rhetoric like this is going to get people to, you know, obstruct ICE and get them hurt or killed? Like, like I said, it's a rhetoric like this that the left want to sit there and pretend that don't exist. You guys are literally turning your base to get, well, violent against ICE. Then when things happen to the base that you radicalize, you guys want to sit there and play victim. That's just how y'all playing it right now, and it's kind of pathetic.
We will find you. We will achieve justice.
That was Uncle Larry Krasner, Philly DA. The streets love Uncle Larry because he keeps the jails empty. The only person they want in jail in this country is Trump and Miller.
Stephen Miller, like a man named Ben Detson, he was the one who created the internment camps for Japanese. Heinrich Himmler in the Nazi regime. This is what he is. People like Stephen Miller will go down in history as.
Where's the concentration camps? I'm so confused. Where are they at? How are we in a Nazi regime if there's people in my chat right now that can call the supreme leader, Fuhrer Trump, a pedophile and that are not in jail or in the gulags? Like, what's going on? I thought we were in this Rhetorian Nazi regime, guys. Huh. I guess what you're saying just don't stand up to reality. But shout out to my man Jet, man, for the 5. Appreciate the support, my brother. He said ICE making Dems pro Second Amendment now, along with deporting illegals nationwide, and that Somali fraud got her eating caviar and steak, not bananas and rice. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, God. Hey, man. Hey, Shay, she might actually be benefiting from it. Now, our girl Lillian Omar, you know what's crazy? Like I said, everybody was going off on her and like, oh, she married her brother, which is not true. But she did definitely do some fraud with her third husband that she cheated on her second husband with. So, I mean, hey, you guys can run off with that. That's the real story. The whole brother part, that's a distraction to keep you away from that real story.
Evil, had blood on his hands, and should be jailed at the very end of this.
You weren't allowed to.
Oh, and her third husband is white, by the way. So, yeah, I know. Somali fraud mixed with the white collar fraud.
Call COVID the China virus, remember? But you can go out and call the White House deputy chief of staff a Nazi, and the guy's Jewish. Now the Democrats are back to talking about lynchings. Listen.
Whoa. Calling for the hanging of a woman is crazy, bro. I mean, like I said, yeah, see how radicalized they are. Hey, hold on. Wasn't this the same group that got like, I don't know, that lost their shit when the January 6ers, a small group of January 6ers was yelling, hang Pence? Now, will y'all show the same outrage towards this? Actually, let me make sure I save this little part right here, though, because I'll be honest with you. I just want to know, are y'all real enough to keep that same energy? Condemn this just like you condemn when the January 6ers said hang Pence. Please, show some consistency.
And the most unpopular mayor in the country with the most homicides in the nation just joined the party.
As it relates to Gregory Bavino, we've seen examples of other forms of tyranny that have led to concentration camps in the annihilation or the attempt annihilation of people groups.
Oh, God, we got like, well, about 200 of y'all in here, man. Go ahead and double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get that likes up to 100. We got 83. Let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video.
Okay. The Holocaust Museum just spanked Walls for comparing illegals to Anne Frank. If you guys are watching, that was the mayor of Chicago. A little bit of a stretch.
Hey, yo, and shout out to my man Gary Jr. on Rumble. And guys, you could also follow me on Rumble as well at S.E.T Media. Sorry, my man, I just pulled this up, but he said Michigan is a cesspool of corruption all the way down to township Damn, all the way down to township. Our governor even got away with genocide. Damn, hold on, with genocide. So money laundering is just a extra kick in the balls. Damn. He's like, prices and taxes are insanely high. And I'm sorry, bro, but that's just all blue states. Shout out to my man Gary, because he's on Rumble, pretty much Rumble ranting this in. And no, he's not wrong. For some reason, in these blue states, they'll sit there and say, oh, yeah, you want to make things more affordable for you, but then raise your taxes. It's absolutely outrageous. Like, this is like the most duplicitous way to run and to do politics, is sit there in people's face telling them you're going to run on affordability just so you can beat the Republican. Then when you get in there, you completely F it up and just make things more unaffordable. Abigail Spanberger, Zohran Mamdani. And don't worry, we're going to get into Zohran Mamdani next, because this whole situation in New York is pretty interesting.
Democrats, they say, nope, they're not going far enough.
I don't think that the comparisons with Nazi Germany are extreme, because that's what happened too. That's why ordinary German citizens began to accept the idea that certain members of their community would be singled out. I mean,
and shout out to my man Gaming as well. He says, what up? Can you play some of the videos I sent you in general and private chat? They are relevant. All right, I got you.
ICE tip lines would be directly targeted in violation of the laws of the land, and it would be done by agents of the state.
ICE tip lines? Walls had COVID snitch lines. And can you believe illegals are the new Jews? Democrats are setting it up so when they take
that is
power,
hilarious.
they're going to hold.
No, I remember the Somalians was coming out and talk about, well, Minnesota was promised to us 3,000 years ago, so Americans just need to get down with the get down. I was crying. I was like, okay, bro, I get where you're going. We deserve this. This is what we was hitting people with when, Israel was bombing Palestinians left and right. We was going like the chosen people, and well, that's what they hit us with. I can respect it.
Nuremberg-style trials and try to hang and incarcerate Miller, Nome, Bovino, ICE agents just for deporting illegals. You don't believe me? Watch.
I think there should be something equivalent to the Nuremberg trials after this is all over.
I agree.
And to make it clear that once we're back in power, which we will be, this is going to happen. And the statute of limitations on murder is
0.
Never.
Yeah, never.
However, it's the boring that moves the needle.
Democrats want to put you on trial for enforcing the law. Well, you know who might have to take a stand first? Barack Obama.
My job in the executive branch is supposed to be to carry out the laws that are passed. If we start broadening that, then essentially I would be ignoring the law in a way that I think would be very difficult to defend legally. So that's not an option.
But Barack's about as two-faced.
So crazy though, like Trump and Barack Obama's rhetoric on immigration, they mirror each other almost exactly. I mean, bro, Barack Obama was saying, yo, we need to get the undocumented immigrants in. Bro, he was going mainly on undocumented immigrants. He didn't even bring up the criminal part. He just said, look, a whole bunch of undocumented immigrants came in and we're about to get them out. He rarely talked about the criminal part. Trump, he ran on the criminal part and then turned around and just said, look, yeah, we're going after all of them. And which, well, he kind of was saying, but I think it was the independents and the guys in the middle that thought that we were just going after the criminals, when no, if you're here illegally, yeah, we want you up out of here. And these guys mirrored that exactly. Actually, the only thing that Obama said that Trump didn't say, which I'd love Trump to say, was that we need to go after the employers who are hiring these illegals as well. Because they're basically like modern day slave masters, to be quite honest with you. But I mean, the Dems don't want to approach that topic.
Tampon. Here's what the former president just uttered from an undisclosed location. Quote, it's important to understand the broader implications of what this administration is doing and the threat it poses to the basic freedoms of every American. Barack Hussein deported 3 million illegals. Liberals never rioted, fought ICE, called him a Nazi. Obama.
Yeah, I mean, bro, a lot of them, he did it through expedited removal. I mean, they got no day in court. They got no legal representation. They just said, all right, yeah, you're gone. And expedited removal, I believe, was done under Clinton. And yeah, when under expedited removal, yeah, you don't get no court date. There's no, and your due process is being removed out the United States. You don't get a lawyer, no court date, no nothing. You're just gone.
Gave Homan a medal for deporting so many migrants. But when Trump and Homan do it, they want to put him on trial.
Yep.
This is about power, and it's already slipping away. New York and California are already projected to lose 6 seats after the next census. With mass deportations, it'll reduce their numbers even further. They need to keep the population up to get more federal cash and more congressional seats. Democrats are calling for bills to prohibit ICE from going near the voting booths. The former governor of Washington says Senate Dems need to put into the appropriations bill a prohibition on ICE agents being near polling places. This is a must-have. Last chance to do this.
Wow, Senate Dems need to put into the appropriation bill to prohibit ICE agents being near polling places. Yeah, if they're near polling places and these are legal, immigrants pulling up, they have nothing to worry about. ICE is going to leave them alone. Now, if you're pretty much just admitting to the fact that there are illegals voting in y'all elections, I mean, that's the only reason why you would try to keep ICE out of there. There's really no other reason. And I mean, you could radicalize the idiots in the chat and sit there and be like, oh, well, the ICE is just going to scare them and off. And no, bro. No, you want to hide the fact that you guys actually let illegals vote.
Why do they care if ICE is near a polling station? I thought they didn't vote. In the Senate, Majority Leader John Thune, he wants to require photo ID and U.S. citizenship.
No, facts, though. Shout out my man Jed. He said Obama was talking like MAGA before MAGA. Bro, when it came to immigration, yeah. He was talking like MAGA. That's what's so funny about it and why these Dems look so hypocritical is because I'm like, the difference between what Obama doing with ICE and what Trump is doing with ICE is this right here. This right here. Cell phone. Everybody got a cell phone to clip it out of context, to take things out of context. And now everybody want to play, what was it? Armchair quarterback every time these shootings come out. And it's just like, bro, here's the problem. Like, we'd have been seeing the same thing under Obama if everybody was pulling out their phones like this and there was the same outrage towards Obama. But there wasn't. Not at all. Y'all sat by. Y'all let it happen. Shoot. And there were also citizens who got mistakenly deported as well. Y'all didn't talk about it whatsoever. But here you guys are crying, like 8 years later, and now we're supposed to sit here and think you're being genuine? Okay.
Vote. They're putting that in their next big funding bill next week. This is huge. National photo ID would stop Democrat shenanigans dead in their tracks. Once you realize illegal immigration is the pillar of the Democratic Party, voting, welfare, fraud, congressional districts, you realize why they're fighting to the death in the streets. If they don't like what Trump is doing, well, win an election. That's what Trump did.
Yep.
Donald Trump is doing what the people elected him to do.
Yep. I mean, he won the popular vote, AKA there are more people who voted for Donald Trump than Kamala Harris, AKA there's more people who voted for this ICE enforcement than people who didn't vote for it. I'm sorry, but yeah. You guys think that, oh, no, we're growing in support. No, you guys are just this fringe group that's going out there putting yourselves in danger. And I'm talking to the protesters in Minnesota. Putting yourselves in danger for what? For nothing. For nothing at all. Because what? Renee Good died, and what they do? Double down. Now Alex Pretty died. You know what they're going to do? They're going to retreat for now and then triple down. So get ready. And don't cry. Don't cry. You walked yourself into this. Don't cry about it being a police state. Y'all walked yourselves into it being a police state. Nobody else is doing this but you guys.
Rid of illegal immigration.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to...
It sucks, but it's the truth. But all right, man, let's get on to my man Zoran Mondani. All right, because, yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem. And Zoran, well, I mean, I'm not sure if we got a solution, but he sure is playing the blame game.
Good morning. I want to speak directly to New Yorkers who have for too long been misled and misinformed about the true state of our city's finances. I will be blunt. New York City is facing a serious fiscal crisis. There is a massive fiscal deficit in our city's budget to the tune of at least $12 billion.
I'm sorry, though, before I get into it, though, it's like all you, like, I'll be real with you, you radical leftists in the chat that says, oh, you'll be next. I'm an American citizen, dumbass. I was born in Nashville, Tennessee. They only go after U.S. citizens, dumbass. And hold on here. I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, no U.S. citizens have actually been deported. Now, U.S. citizens have been detained, and they can do that to you for up to 72 hours. They can detain your ass. So I'm like, it's kind of funny how you say, oh, you're next, you're next. It's like, no, you just want me to be next. I mean, to be quite honest, no, you just want me to be hurt. You just want me to be shot. You don't, you're trust me, you're not talking about ICE and deportation. No, you actually want physical harm to come to me. And it's kind of crazy because you're pretty see-through. It's pretty transparent when you guys say that and what you truly want.
We did not arrive at this place by accident. This crisis has a name and a chief architect. In the words of the Jackson 5, it's as easy as ABC. This is the Adams budget crisis. In 2025, under the banner of what he called the best budget ever, former Mayor Eric Adams handed the next administration a poisoned chalice. He systematically under-budgeted services that New Yorkers rely on every single day: rental assistance, shelter, and special education, while quietly leaving behind enormous gaps for the future. And knowing his time in office was likely coming to an end, Mayor Adams chose political self-preservation over fiscal responsibility. This is not just bad governance, it is negligence. And now the responsibility falls upon us to protect working New Yorkers from paying the price. We expected for months that when we entered City Hall, we would likely inherit a grim fiscal situation. Many of the journalists here reported about an imbalance during the Adams years. Yet once we looked under the hood, the full picture was staggering. However, Eric Adams is not the only reason we are here. For over a decade, as he governed from Albany, former Governor Andrew Cuomo extracted our city's resources, using our revenue to address state-level holes while withholding from the city what it was owed. The result is a stunning fiscal imbalance. New Yorkers contribute 54.5% of state revenue and receive only 40.5% back. No part of this state gives more and gets less in return than New York City. While we did not create this crisis, we will solve it. And we will do so without balancing the budget on the backs of working people.
I mean, you kind of got
Now, I want to walk New Yorkers.
Hold on, brother. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. You kind of got to. It's like this. If we ever want to balance the budget when it came to the deficit, we would have to do it on the backs of the American people. I'm talking about cutting social programs by 40, Social Security by 60, cutting our biggest expenditures, which are social programs like Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. Our three biggest expenditures is those social things. If we wanted to really balance the budget, we would have to do it on the backs of the American people if we truly were serious about it. And I don't think he's wanting to deal with that reality. I'm like, bro, if you're going to balance this budget, you're going to have to make some tough calls. You just can't tell people what they want to hear and be like, yeah, we'll balance the budget. I mean, I don't know about that, boy. You're going to be disappointing your people when they find out what you really got to do.
Nuances of this crisis that we must contend with. Here, you can see former Mayor Adams' projected budget gaps, as well as the projections prepared by City Controllers Lander and Levine, as well as State Controller DiNapoli. These projections were formed independently, but they tell the same story. We are still reviewing the city's fiscal health ourselves, but our early analysis is in line with their findings. And the story that those findings tell is clear. The Adams administration dramatically and intentionally understated the problem. The budget gaps are twice as high year after year. Notably, Mayor Adams underestimated known budget expenses so he could show fiscal year 2026 was balanced. These are not differences in opinion between accountants. They are measured to the tune of more than $7 billion beyond what he published. We are dealing with vast figures and statistics that can often feel intangible. I want to place them into a historical context so that the scale of the crisis is clear to New Yorkers. For reference, the budget gaps we are facing today are higher than they were at the height of the Great Recession. And when compared to the pre-pandemic 10-year average, some of these projected deficits are over 300% higher. This is not business as usual. This is a historic challenge, and it demands an honest response. Time and again, Adams kicked the can of responsibility down the road. Last year, when he laid out his January and May financial plans, he not only failed to budget sufficiently, he ignored projections that indicated major expenses would rise in years to come. These expenses not only totaled nearly $8 billion, They're on an upward trajectory. And still, former Mayor Adams refused to incorporate them, leaving a massive $3 billion hole in fiscal year 2026. The budgetary choices he made in the past have consequences that we reckon with today, with ripple effects extending into the years to come. Former Mayor Adams made the repeated, deliberate choice to under-budget. It was a pattern. He budgeted $860 million for cash assistance this fiscal year, but current
Yo, gaming. I mean, all right, gaming, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. If you believe this, bro, we gotta have a chat. If you truly believe this, bro, we gotta have a chat, dog. But I'm gonna go to this real quick.
Are going to blow those places up and then announce it as American attack casualties.
All right, let's go ahead and redo this, because this is gonna be crazy.
And those IRGC puppets couldn't get any shittier. They just proved me wrong. They are bombing schools and hospitals. They are preparing them with bombs. Why? The moment that America is going to attack Iran, they are going to call those places as shelters and then announce it in TV.
That sounds familiar. Oh, they're hiding their weaponries in schools and all 34 of the hospitals that we bombed. When we told the kids to go to Rafah, oh, Hamas was there, so we bombed it. With no proof, of course. But yeah, F it though. So, I mean, gaming. Now, I'm not sure where you're going with this, so I'm not going to assume, but doesn't this kind of sound like they're about to start recklessly bombing innocent civilians? And then they're going to use the same excuse the Israelis did by, well, you got to understand that the schools have bombs in them, so we bombed them. I mean, they're already laying out the propaganda for us to eat. Well, you got to understand, Seth, the reason why we bombed a school full of innocent Iranian children is because, well, you know, the Ayatollah put bombs in the back. So we're bombing children on that ground, just like they did in Israel. And that's how we're going to justify it. And they're already putting out your propaganda to sell it to you. Oh, this is crazy. And we're going to be, you know, and it looks like things are intensifying with Iraq. So they're already preparing you to deal with the fact that we will be bombing innocent people.
TV so regular people can go there and take shelter. And the moment that they're there, they're going to blow those places up and then announce it as American attack casualties.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, real with you. They're most likely not going to do that. There's most likely going to be no proof that they're doing that. And then we're just going to bomb them anyway because, well, F them. And then we're going to try to sell it to the American people as if, oh, well, you got to understand, you know, they hide weapons there. So we got to bomb the innocent women and children. Oh, they're using them as human shields because it works so well with the Israelis. Oh, yeah, the Israelis could kill innocent women and children all fucking day on the guidelines of human shields. So here this lady is preparing you for the same bullshit lie of human shields so we can sit there and bomb innocent women and children. I mean, it's almost irritating people like this because it's like you kind of see where they're trying to take you.
During the 12-day war with Israel, we realized that you have no intention on bombing civilians. So we are not going to put any blame on America or Israel. Don't do that shit. And
wow. Damn. She's like I said, she's like, so when we bomb innocent women and children, just remember that I showed you this video to let you know that, hey, don't get mad at us. They're hiding weapons and they're using them as human shields, even though we can't prove it, just like Israel never proved it.
Please, for non-Persian speakers, share this as much as you can. I want everyone in the world to know what the IRGC is doing to the people. Thank you.
Like this lady lives in America and probably ain't never lived a day in Iran in her life. And they want to tell you, well, if you're not Iranian, you can't speak on this. Bro, y'all sounding like the Jews at this point. Like, well, if you're not Jewish or Israeli, you can't speak on what's going on. It's like, shut the fuck up. Okay, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, excuse my language, guys, but it just irritates me how we're about to walk right into that. They're setting it up for y'all asses again. And some of y'all are going to bite again. And then you're going to tell me, oh, said you're just an Hamas supporter or a Muslim, which I'm not. But that's what y'all going to hit me with as we bomb innocent women and children. I can't wait.
Estimates are $1.625 billion, nearly double what he had accounted for. He budgeted $1.47 billion for shelter costs this fiscal year, but current estimates reflect an additional unaccounted for $500 million. But
all right, back to
he budgeted paltry fractions of what was actually required, undermining the city's ability to fulfill its promises. These are not optional services. They are critical responsibilities of city government. Let's talk about the state and city imbalance. In fiscal year 2022, New York City sent $68.8 billion in revenue to Albany and received $47.6 billion back. That is more than a gap. It is a $21.2 billion chasm.
So,
and it can
I mean, here's the thing, Zoran. I'm not sure if you know this, but usually the city that puts the most out usually don't get the same amount. I mean, let's be real. What would be the point? Y'all might as well keep your own taxpayer dollars and don't pay it to the state. Just pay it to yourselves. If that's the case, if you're expecting to get the same like back that you put in, then I mean, you might as well not pay taxes to the state. Just take out state taxes for the people of New York if that's what you're going off of. Because yeah, usually the city that produces the most, I'm be honest with you, I'm pretty sure they still get back the most. But I mean, if you're looking for an even exchange, though, Ron, I'm be real with you, that's just not plausible. And I mean, I see the numbers, I get it, but I think that's the same across the board.
Longer.
And here's the thing, I mean, bro, are you willing to show what other cities in New York are getting compared to New York City? Because I'm pretty sure if you run the numbers, New York is probably getting the most.
Sustained. It is measured in city schools that could have more teachers, parks that could have more staff, playgrounds that could be built across.
Oh, and shout out Tove. Appreciate the support, sis. She says, if ICE are the agitators, why aren't they having the same issues in Oregon, Texas, Vermont, and any other states they are in right now? Yep. I mean, hey, that's one thing they're not going to address, but I'll address it for them. The reason is, well, I would say Tim Walz and Jacob Fry, because the people in those states actually care about their constituents, or they're going to make sure they bring out the National Guard or local police to, you know, provide crowd control. They can be loud as they want, but they better stay behind that line for their safety and for, of course, the ICE officers' safety as well. Now, in Minnesota, that's not happening, and they're allowing these protesters to become obstructionists and getting in the way of ICE officers, thus getting themselves hurt and killed. Sadly.
Across the 5 boroughs.
But they say they care, though.
That $21.2 billion gap occurred because over the decade Governor Cuomo was in office, the state saw our city as a place from which wealth could be extracted without recognizing the needs of that same place. New York City is the economic engine of this state. While we contribute the majority of state revenue growth, we do not receive this.
Like, Jimmy, look, bro, my Jewish friend. You got to understand, my friend. I never said that. Like, I never said that. I understand I may have offended you with my comments on the whole Iran situation. And if I did, well, too bad. But look, brother, I didn't say that. Now, we all know that ICE can arrest criminals, illegals in jail. Like, we all know this. Actually, that's one of the main problems in Minnesota, is that in Minnesota or in Minneapolis, they're keeping ICE from arresting these guys in jail. They're keeping them from doing so and deporting them. They're stopping them. So thank you for bringing that up, though, because it kind of linked into my point.
Same proportion of state funds. From fiscal year 2010 to fiscal year 2022, a period where Andrew Cuomo served as governor for almost the entire duration, state revenue grew by $48 billion. New York City alone generated 64% of that growth, or $31 billion. But when expenditures increased by $36 billion, New York City received only 42%, or $15 billion. Annually, that is an $8 billion shortfall of what our city was owed. Our city is one of multitudes, containing both incredible affluence and tremendous needs. And for too long, only half of that equation has been met. Each of these slides and the numbers they contain tell a clear story. It is the story of a city that is economically powerful and central to the success of the entire state, if not the entire country.
All right, so pretty much saying we will release a preliminary budget in February that balances fiscal year 2026, fiscal year 2027 as required by law. So it is crazy how they're in a $12 billion deficit. And we will find the eliminate waste. All right, efficiencies and eliminate waste. I mean, hey man, I hope he can, because walking into a $12 billion deficit when you was making all these promises on free this, free that, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one to fulfill that promise when you don't got the money. And I mean, taxing the rich for what? That 12 billion? I mean, look, you might want to balance the budget, then see what you can do.
And it is the story of a city that has been failed by its leaders of the past. Together, let us tell a new story. As we approach the preliminary budget, City Hall will do what the law requires. We will deliver a balanced budget over 2 fiscal years. We will also do, however, what former Mayor Adams never did. We will be clear and direct about our needs with Albany. Working people did not cause this crisis, and they cannot be made the victims of its solution. In my inaugural address, I made a promise. I said that we would overcome every moment of adversity together.
Oh, and shout out to my man Jet. He says, make sure I have this up here. He says, ICE agents involved in both incidents were hired under Obama. How is that having poor training? Y'all beyond stupid. Do research and stop drooling over CNN. Yeah, guys, these are not untrained. I mean, actually, look up of what ICE is comprised of as far as their employment goes. Ex-veterans and ex-law enforcement. These guys are not untrained. The person that shot Renee Good, he had 10 years in the force. The guys who shot Alex Petty, a lot of them had 5 years plus. These are not untrained people. These are not untrained people. And the problem is you guys are trying to blame ICE because you don't want to sit there and blame the fact that, well, Jacob Fries refused to provide crowd control to make sure that these people aren't obstructing to put themselves in danger. Tim Walz is not taking any action to help out the protests to keep them out of danger. No, if anything, they're just creating or, well, inciting more inflammatory rhetoric to make these protesters more radicalized towards ICE. But nobody wants to sit there and blame that. Everybody want to sit there and try to blame ICE as if it's their fault alone. I'm gonna be real with you. Should these two have gotten shot and died? No. But let's keep it real. If you're being honest, this is Jacob Fries and Tim Walz's fault because they could have did, well, a whole lot before these two people died. And I mean, actually, they just had to do one simple thing, and that was either bring in the National Guard or just bring in local law enforcement for surrounding areas to help do crowd control. That's it, and that's all.
And we would meet every moment of fiscal challenge with ambition, not austerity. That promise stands. We will not shrink from this moment. We will not succumb to small ideas. We will meet this crisis with the bold solutions it demands. That means recalibrating the broken fiscal relationship between the state and the city. And it means that the time has come to tax the richest New Yorkers and most profitable corporations. This is the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. And yet we have allowed 1 in 4 New Yorkers to live in poverty. It doesn't need to be that way. We will remain in constant conversation with Governor Hochul and legislative leaders, and we will do something that too many New Yorkers have learned not to expect from City Hall. We will be honest, transparent, and we will communicate the decisions we're making and why we're making them. We have inherited a crisis from the past, New York, but it need not define our future. From this moment of hardship and chart a new course for our city. It will be difficult, but anything worth doing always is. Thank you. Then Governor Cuomo's where we can show that this is a city government that's ready to meet the challenge that New Yorkers are facing. And we're talking about it could be 8 inches of snow, it could be 18 inches of snow.
It's quite a range.
It's quite a range. But the good thing is that we have an
had a health, Bill O'Reilly had a health situation. He worked through it. He's back now, and I am happy for it. It's good to have you back, Bill. You look good.
I appreciate that, Cuomo.
So the president has been using different language last couple of days. Mixed on Preddy, said, some things that piss people off, some things that don't. But he said, look, we got to keep doing what ICE does. We got to do it in a way that de-escalates. He says, what do you think he understands now that he didn't, let's say, 2 weeks ago?
Well, I don't think there's anything that he didn't understand 2 weeks ago. It's a top-down administration, number one. I don't want to get too technical about it, but it's just like what FDR did when he was in the White House for, I think it was 13 years before he died.
Oh crap, my bad, bro. I didn't even notice. He says, yep, you're muted. Shout out to my man Ham. He said, that's it, class. I'm taking lip reading classes now. And shout out to you're muted. My bad, guys. Whoops a daisy. I accidentally touched the mute button. Damn it. All right, but let me go ahead and rehash what I was pretty much saying. I was pretty much saying it's kind of crazy how like ICE is getting all this blame, and it's actually, well, the Minnesota leadership's fault. Like, and here's the thing, ICE, custom border patrols, they're not supposed to be doing crowd control. So when the Dems say these guys are untrained, there's a little bit of truth to that. They're not trained in crowd control. They're trained in law enforcement. They're trained in immigration enforcement. That's what they're trained in. And the problem what's going on in Minnesota is that they're making these guys have to branch out into crowd control because guess what? Jacob Fry is not bringing in the local police. Tim Walz not bringing the National Guard or surrounding local police to help out what's going on out there. And like I said, when are y'all going to start holding y'all own accountable because of them? Because think about it, if this would have been done beforehand, Renee Good would still be alive. Alex Petty would still be alive. They'd just be angry protesters behind a police barricade, but they would be alive.
So all the decisions come out of the White House. And the decision was we're going to round up as many criminal aliens as we can. And in the process, if we detain people who don't have credentials to be in a country, we're going to take them in as well. We're going to use the Fourth Amendment to do it, which is exactly what happened. And warrants were issued and people were detained. Okay. So Minneapolis.
And shout out my man, Mr. Paramedic. He said, not shadow banned anymore. Yep. I think we're good, my man. I think we're good. And I think I might have known what the problem was, but I guess we'll talk about that later.
And Minnesota, they don't like that. And they're not going to obey the law. And they flat out said it. We're not going to obey the law. Whether you like it or not, President Trump or the Congress or anybody else, F you. Okay. So Trump has to react to that because it's an insurrection, just like it was before the Civil War. The state is saying not going to execute what the law of the land is, signed in 1952. That's
that's true. It's like, yo, we did this for segregation. I mean, like, Dems, congratulations. You guys are now in the place of the segregationists in this repeat of history. Like, what did we do? Like, we came in, we put the Insurrection Act on the state, and we said, no, you're going to allow these black kids in your school, regardless of what you want. And we're doing the same thing here. Look, this is federal law. I mean, I'm sorry, but we're going to uphold federal law, regardless if you like it or not. If you want to go against federal law, then yes, you guys are, well, pretty much enacting and engaging in an insurrection. You're going against local law enforcement. You're going against governments and federal agent. You're honestly saying we don't want to uphold immigration laws. I mean, yes, that's an insurrection, guys. And you're kind of playing along right into it. A lot of these guys still think they're peaceful protesters, but you're slowly turning into insurrectionists. I mean, don't let Tim Walz and Jake Fry walk y'all off a cliff.
Story. Now, in the meantime, for whatever reason, and I don't know exactly why, some of the Border Patrol and ICE agents overreacts and have an attitude that they're going to beat the hell out of you if you impede their work. And that I said a month ago,
I mean,
that's going to lead to disaster.
Yeah.
Because you got a bunch of emotionally fragile people. Both of these dead Americans fit into that category, in my opinion, and we've traced them back. We know who they are. They were activists. Mr. Preddy was a guy who was almost violent, and you saw him kicking the truck. You saw that his rib was broken 11 days ago in a confrontation. He brings a loaded gun into
here's a crazy thing. I mean, bro already got his warning one time. I mean, you got involved with ICE. You try to get tough with them. You was kicking their vehicle. A light came off. Then you spit in their direction, and they brought you to the ground, and they cracked the rib. Then a week later, your ass go right back out there doing the same damn thing that got your rib cracked. I'm sorry, but like, Look, I feel bad that he died, but man, bro, stupid people, bro, stupid people be pissing me off. And then the funny thing is, these Dems feel bad for stupid people. Like, are you serious? So you went and did something that got your ass hurt, got a rib cracked, and then a week later you're back out there doing the same thing. I mean, apparently you burning your hand on the stove, you just didn't get burnt enough. Apparently you're looking for a second-degree burn or something.
A hot, dangerous confrontation with law enforcement. Who does that? Who does that? No one. All right, but he did. And the poor woman, Ms. Good, is sitting there in a truck trying to block operations, laughing, and then bolts the truck up. And you're going, if there's going to be a tough guy approach, then people are going to get hurt because these people aren't rational. Neither Good nor Pretty were rational. What they did was crazy. And so,
yeah, driving off with law enforcement, like, while they tell you, you know, get out the car and you still try to drive off like that was a good idea, that's not rational. I mean, like a week ago, you got involved with ICE police and, you know, it didn't turn out so well for you. Then you go back out there doing the same thing. Like, that's not rational. I mean, like, what? Don't you think like that might have been a prelude to what's going to happen to you next? They cracked your rib the first time. I mean, don't you think next time could be worse? But no, he still went out there and did it. Renee Good told 4 times to get out the car. Officers hand in the car. I mean, his hand in the car is basically a 5th time of being told to get out, except physically. Still didn't do it. You think that's rational? Like, let's be real. I mean, and Renee Good, she had irrational fear. I mean, Alex Pretty, I ain't gonna lie, bro. The bro was just dumb. Bro was just dumb. God rest his soul, but bro was dumb.
The news media, you and me and everybody else, saying, don't do that. Protest legitimately, but don't put yourself in harm's way. That's not what the media does.
And shout out to my man Gaming, says I can't super chat from phone. Also nice to see the shadow ban is over. They are, yeah, they are ready to insert. Yeah, they're ready at the insurrection stage. There is no y'all are close. Yeah, I guess I can hear you on that one. I hear you on that one. They are there. They're pretty much saying we don't want to uphold federal law. We want to fight federal agents. At this point, yeah, like, what do y'all expect when the Insurrection Act get invoked and you got military men pushing y'all inside y'all cribs and you're under martial law? Then what? And you guys can't blame nobody but yourselves and y'all leadership. Like, don't blame Trump. Don't blame Trump, because all your leadership had to do was provide some crowd control and y'all wouldn't be in that situation. But apparently y'all want to walk yourselves into that situation so y'all can cry about it. And nobody's going to be hearing y'all out. The Lord knows I'm not.
Media tries to make martyrs out of the two of them, and that's all right, okay? And then tries to blame Trump for their deaths.
Every single time.
It's crazy. And then today, after Trump went out of his way to take a phone call from Fry, and you know that, you reported on that, Fry basically says, F you again. All Trump is asking is that the Minnesota authorities protect the ICE agents from violence, from intrusion, that the local authorities get Mr. Pretty before he breaks something on an ICE truck. All right? They stop that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so, you know, let's go ahead and read Makeup J. Fry's words. The job of our police is to keep people safe, not enforce federal immigration laws. I mean, yeah, but you didn't do that, because if you were keeping your people safe, you would bring your police out there to provide crowd control while ICE enforce federal immigration laws. Like, that's all you had to do, brother. That's all you had to do. Like, this has nothing to do with ICE. Like, honestly, bro, this has nothing to do with ICE and everything to do with the fact that you didn't use local police to provide safety to your people. And you left it to ICE to not only enforce immigration laws, but to also enforce crowd control, which led to, well, 2 of your people dying.
And Fry says, no, we're not going to do that. In fact, we're going to stand by and stand down while protesters go into a hotel and rip it up because ICE agents are staying there. Now, Cuomo, I'm going to ask you.
And here's the thing: that's the only reason he brought out the police and the National Guard when private property's at stake. I mean, it's kind of fucked up. It's like, dog. So you're telling me you care more about protecting private property than the safety of your people? I mean, shout out Tim Walz and Jacob Fry. That's exactly what they just did. Oh, and shout out to my man Gaming. He says feds are doing everything they can before an insurrection. Yeah, before the insurrection. Nah, I feel you on that one. They're doing everything they can to I would say water it down, because that's why they took ICE out there. They took a tactical retreat. They took out Bovino, and they're like, yeah, let's bring him out of there. Let's take ICE out of there for now. Let's definitely take the let's definitely put back the Border Patrol agents. Now they're on administrative leave, though. They were moved to somewhere else, but now these guys are on official administrative leave.
Flat out question. Is that responsible? Is that responsible?
I see it differently. I don't believe the mayor is saying we're not going to do what you want us to do. Just flat out like that. F you, as you say.
Here's what I think is going on. Said Cuomo. Wait. I don't want big picture.
I thought you asked me a question.
You can do big picture the rest of your show. I want you to answer this question.
I'll answer your question.
I am not going to provide local police protection for the federal agents. Is that a responsible statement, Cuomo?
I mean,
it's not what he said. He said,
yeah, it's like, I mean, it's basically what he said, bro. Like, I know Cuomo, look, I know you're trying to run cover, but like, when you say stuff like this, the job of our police is to keep people safe and not enforce, Fed immigration law. Nobody's asking you to do that. Like, bro, nobody asks local police to uphold immigration law. We're telling you to make local police go out there and provide crowd control to help these protesters stay out the way. Well, honestly, to keep these protesters from getting in the way of ICE. That's all we need you for, bro. We don't need local law enforcement to do immigration, immigration enforcement. We got ICE for that. The problem is he's deliberately stretching ICE out to do crowd control because he don't want to bring in the local law enforcement. And you saying the job of our local police is to keep people safe and not enforce immigration law? No shit, bro. We all know that. Nobody's asking for that. We're just telling you to use your local police to protect your own citizens. And apparently, this was the smartest thing you could say to dodge the question. Or, to dodge reality that, you're not doing that. And you're not helping your people. And you're not making any damn sense. But here we are.
They're staying there. Now, Cuomo, I'm going to ask you a flat-out question. Is that responsible? Is that responsible?
I see it differently. I don't believe the mayor is saying we're not going to do what you want us to do. Just flat out like that. F you, as you say. Here's what I think is going on.
Said Cuomo. Wait. I don't want big picture.
I thought you asked me a question.
You can do big picture the rest of your show. I want you to answer this question.
I'll answer your question.
I am not going to provide local police protection for the federal agents. Is that a responsible statement, Cuomo?
He didn't really say that, but he implied it. It was definitely heavily implied. That's why Cuomo is trying to work around it. But, bro, he pretty much said that. And, he said something dumb by saying, it's not local law enforcement to do federal immigration, it's not to uphold federal immigration law. And he's right. You're right, but nobody's asking you to do that. We're asking you to bring in local police to go ahead and enforce crowd control, to pretty much keep these guys behind a police barricade. That's all we want from you guys. Nothing else. Let ICE do what they're supposed to do, and that's it. But he's not doing that, and he's leaving it up to ICE and Border Patrol. And, it's unfair to blame ICE if that's what you're doing.
It's not what he said. He said, I am not going to enforce I am not going to enforce immigration law. I am not. Hold on. You wanted me to tell you what he said? I'll tell you what he said. He is not going to enforce immigration law, and I am not going to put my resources behind your unconstitutional actions. You call it an insurrection. Even Trump disagrees with you. Even Trump doesn't believe the insurrection. He just said on television to News Nation, the Insurrection Act is not needed. Okay, so you take that the way you want.
Yeah, because I think he's trying out his one final option. He's doing everything to go to that. Because trust me, it's not something that you just want to bring down. You want to bring down. I think nobody wants to put that upon their own people. because you're going to be bringing in like military and all that wild stuff. So he's trying to do everything in the world to be like, all right, look, maybe we could bring in Tom Homan. They could work with different people, talk it out, find a way to work together. And maybe that works before we go out there and we just storm the streets with the troops. And that's not really too much of what the Insurrection Act consists of, but he can bring in the troops. It's not going to be like the stormtroopers rolling in or whatever and a high number of them, but trust me, it's not going to be a good scene if we get to that. I'm just going to keep it real.
He said he doesn't believe it.
But I'll tell you the
News Nation
big difference. That's the answer to your question. Hold on a second, Bill. Here's the big difference. Pretty is this, good is that. Here's the mistake. And here's why there's so much outrage, okay? That is real and rational. That's who does crazy.
And shout out to my man Jet. He says, shout out to removing the cobwebs off our band. I know, right? We're back. We're back. I mean, apparently they were trying to act like we weren't shadow banned, but we're back, guys.
Things. People who are built up to be so outraged by what's happening, they become desperate and they do things they shouldn't. The problem is you're pretending that the ICE agents are the same as the protesters and they're likely to act the same way. No, one is supposed to be trained, which is why we let you have weapons and you're supposed to de-escalate, and you've been doing the opposite. Okay? These are not supposed to be the death penalty. You kick a truck, you're not supposed to die. You block traffic, you're not supposed to die. That's what people are reacting to. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, bro, we get that. But yeah, when you're in a lawful traffic stop and officers tell you to get out the car, you get out the car for your safety so, you don't end up getting hurt or dying. When an officer's reaching inside your car, you don't drive off. Why? For your safety and for, the safety of the officers around you, especially the one that's trying to get you outside the car that has their hand in your car. I would hope this is common sense. Like I was saying, they're trying too hard to focus on what ICE is doing, and they're not really focusing hard enough on, hold on, why was this lady even here? Why was she allowed to beat her this long? Well, wait, hold on, where's the police to push her out the way instead of her being detained by police instead of ICE? Because Minnesota has left it up to the ICE agents to do all the enforcement, all the crowd control, and then they're complaining they're complaining about it. When they don't want to provide no help whatsoever. They're telling them to get out. But I mean, the only reason why this is getting so bad is because you guys have provided no help. And it's cost the lives of 2 of your own constituents. But they won't sit there and take that into account because it's all about, blaming ICE. Even though Renee Good, she didn't deserve to die, but trust me, she did put herself in a situation to be shot. Alex Petty, he didn't deserve to die, but he put himself in a situation to be shot.
They're absolutely right to react to it. And there is an investigation going on into the procedures the ICE agents used. And they may be charged. I don't think they will be, but they may be. And there should be an investigation.
With Pretty, I don't think that's happening with Good yet.
No, it's happening with both. And I confirmed it today on my program, the No Spin News, with the spokesman for the ICE unit who was on. McLaughlin.
You okay with DHS investigating this instead of the DOJ? Go ahead.
The Department of Homeland Security is investigating, but the FBI is there as well. That's what's happening. Now, when you have a situation where there's passion and chaos and violence, people are going to get hurt. And I have said, as I just mentioned, got to bring it down. And it's the responsibility of the federal government to bring it down. But if you're going to...
And shout out to my man Jed on Rumble. Appreciate that. He says Chris Cuomo needs punched in the face for what he said about Scott Jennings after he told that punk kid on CNN, you can't tell me I can't say illegals no more. I mean, yeah, that's true. But Chris Cuomo, I mean, he tries to pretend like he's in the middle, but no, my man is still pretty left.
Sit there and tell News Nation viewers that fraud.
And here's the thing, though. I'm not saying that he's left wing because of this whole ICE shooting, because there's people on the right who have the same opinion as Chris Cuomo. It's just, mainly on all his stances, he leans to the left.
Is providing local protection for federal agents.
I never said that.
And you're misleading your audience.
I never said that.
They are not.
I explained why he said
yes, you
no.
are. Oh, Fry didn't say that.
No, I'm not.
You just told me. Oh, Fry didn't say that.
I just had his quote up on the screen. I just had the quote up on the screen, Bill. It says exactly what I said.
Resources.
Bill.
Hold it. Resources is a code. They're not providing protection for the federal agents. Fry knows it. He's a punk, okay? Trump went out of his way to talk to him.
Here's the thing, though. This is wild what he says, because he's like, the job of our police is to keep people safe and not enforce federal immigration laws. I want them preventing homicides. Wait, you want to know how they can prevent homicides? Providing crowd control. Easy as that. Just providing crowd control that prevented the homicide or the killing of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. I mean, there you go. I mean, you're not even doing what you said you wanted to do. You know, and here it is, and the not hunting down a working dad who contributes to MPLS and is from Ecuador. I mean, like, bro, this man, they just be losing the point, losing the plot. All right.
And according to Trump, Fry, they came to detente, and then the next day, Fry goes out and says, blank you again. He's a punk.
You can't.
And I am going to predict right now that down the road, he's going to be charged. Fry is going to be charged.
With what?
Okay.
Not liking Trump? What's he going to be charged with?
Obstruction, because he had all the power in the world to bring in the local police to provide crowd control, and he didn't. And because of that, 2 people in his city were killed, shot to death. I mean, are you serious?
Insurrection Act.
Look,
Absolutely.
The Insurrection Act, look, they may charge it with them, but it's because they have absolutely no respect for the Constitution or the administration of justice. But the idea that this is an insurrection, just read the act, Bill. It's not even a close call. You would fail out of law school.
Bruh, are you serious? Cuomo, don't be condescending now, dog. I mean, do I really got to do this? Let's see here. Now, insurrection definition right here. A violent uprising against an authority or government. So a violent uprising, are they not throwing things at ICE? Are they not like entrapping them? Are they not assaulting them? Are they not like, bro, I'm be real with you, trying to dox them and harass their family? And wait, who's the authority? ICE. ICE is the authority. And who do they work for? Oh, the federal government. So you guys are violently uprising against the authority of ICE, which is a part of the federal government. Crazy how that works there. But you know, it's like you'd have failed out of law school, bro. Shut up, Cuomo. Shut up, bro. At least be honest and say, you know what? I mean, you might have a point there. At least be honest.
It's not even close.
Oh, come on.
Where is the proof of an organized resistance to overthrow the government?
The proof is that there is federal law that has to be enforced over local law.
And guys, and like people want to bring up Kyle Rittenhouse like that's an actual like good argument. Like you're pretty dumb if you bring up Kyle Rittenhouse, because what did Kyle Rittenhouse do when he seen the police with a whole, you know, like whole big ass gun strapped across them? He put up his hands. Put his hands up. If Alex Petty was a responsible gun user, he'd have walked up and said, look, I'm armed. I just want to help this lady up. It's up to the ICE officer to decide, no, you need to back the F up further, or okay, I'll let you go ahead. But he should have let that officer know that I am armed. I mean, when the officer pulls you over, you let them know that you're armed. You don't let them find out. An officer walk up to you, you let them know that you're armed. You don't let them find out, because that's not going to work out good for you. That's common sense. Like, some of you guys are just like, bro, I'm be real. Some of y'all just start talking like y'all crash outs, like y'all don't know the law or something. Like y'all would literally do this yourselves, knowing damn well you wouldn't. But all right, now, man, let's go ahead and bring in the co-host Monty. Shout out to my man Monty back here in the back here in the StreamYard. Oh, and shout out to my man Gaiman. He says Trump is not trying to use the Insurrection Act. I mean, I feel you, and I get why. It's just not a good look optically. But we'll see.
So I'd like to clear something up. Title 10 of U.S. Code, Chapter 13, deals with insurrections. Subsection 252, use of militia and armed forces to enforce federal authority. Whenever the president considers that unlawful obstructions, combinations, or assemblages or rebellion against the authority of the United States make it impracticable to enforce the laws of the United States in any state by the ordinary course of judicial proceedings, he may call into federal service such of the militia of any state and use such of the armed forces as he considers necessary to enforce those laws or to suppress the rebellion. August 10th, 1956.
Well, shout out Monty for throwing in that information for, you know, the guys who missed it in history class or who just never wanted to look into it for themselves.
And I mean, the section before that talks about the governor may ask, for example, in the case of the LA riots, the governor asked for the Insurrection Act to be imposed then. There is a subsection 252, use of militia and armed forces to enforce federal authority. That is ICE for all of you in the back.
Yeah, for the slow kids in the back, yes, ICE would count as federal authority. But apparently, I mean, Chris Cuomo and you guys can't see that, which is kind of crazy because it's kind of right in our face and it feels like it's common sense. Does it not feel like common sense? Like when you look at it on its face?
I mean, so we've established the definition of an insurrection. So we have that basis, right? So now it's on its face the definition of an insurrection, right? We've agreed on that. So moving past that, does the president think that is impracticable to enforce the laws of the United States in any state by the ordinary course of judicial proceedings? Right now, I would say yes, the law can still be upheld through normal processes. You don't need the military. So the difference between an insurrection and the Insurrection Act is, yes, something can be an insurrection without the Insurrection Act being used.
All right.
Mhm.
Refuses to do that. Okay? He is raising the level
he's
of
not in
defiance.
charge. He's not in charge of that.
Sure
what
he
he's
is.
supposed to do,
He's
sanctuary
compelled
cities have been
to
found
obey
constitutional.
federal law.
He cannot
laws and
obstruct execution of federal law. That's the law, Bill. He cannot obstruct.
Yeah, I mean, but what do you think he's doing right now? He cannot obstruct the federal law. Okay, great. Well, what do you think he's doing by not going out and providing crowd control, by letting the protesters step over into obstruction? I mean,
so
when he stop this at any moment. But go ahead.
So I disagree with that on a note of semantics, simply because he is not using the police to stop ICE. He is just not helping ICE. So he's not obstructing, he's just not providing aid to the mission, which, I mean, we can get into that debate on whether or not that's obstruction. I don't see that as obstruction. You cannot obstruct something if you're not there.
I would say, well, hold on now. You can promote it. You can incite obstruction by just not.
Exactly. That's the argument you need to go after, is the incitement of the violence, the dog whistles that he's been using, the stand out in the street and resist, and encouraging his people, and then not providing any sort of lawful remedy for it. So he's inciting violence, but he is not participating. He's not participating in an insurrection. It's stochastic terrorism.
Okay, so yeah, like pretty much what I was saying a couple of nights ago, and how these guys will sit there and ramp up everybody while they sit inside their mansion, sip they want,
and then act like nothing happened
out on TV. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir.
You can live in the world of theory all day long, Cuomo. You can live in your own little world of theory all day long. Both men have been subpoenaed. Both men have been subpoenaed.
By whom?
Okay?
By
and
whom?
they've been subpoenaed for a reason.
Yeah, because MAGA's pissed.
Oh yeah,
and they go after their
they've
opponents.
been subpoenaed. How ridiculous is that statement you just made? MAGA.
Who subpoenaed them?
MAGA issued the
Who subpoenaed them?
Where does MAGA live?
Who subpoenaed them?
Are they in Austin, Texas?
Who subpoenaed them?
They both
They're in
been
control
subpoenaed.
of the Congress.
They're going to have to come in, and believe me, they may be charged with federal crimes. At the same time, a story you've totally ignored, you have, because you're the most powerful guy on this network.
You're going to mention Singham, who I did this morning on the radio show, and I did last night, and I did last week, and I've done 6 different times.
I did it with,
what were you going to say, Bill?
That's where I did it with. Did it with Leland on Monday night. That is an almost more important story than this. Is that you have an American living in Shanghai, China, funneling tens of millions of dollars to radical groups to go in and try to overthrow whatever government they want. This story is unbelievable. And the corporate media, with the exception of News Nation, because I gave the News
I mean, we've
Nation
been all over
executives
it.
a heads up that I was going to go into it with Leland. Well,
I mean,
I had the congressman and the head of the Ways and Means Committee on my program.
Hey, Set.
They're going to go
Anna
after these
Paulina
guys
Luna
now.
has been chasing this.
I just want to clear up a point of contention in the chat. Ashley Babbitt was not the only person to die on January 6, 2021.
Yeah.
There were several people that died because emergency services were not able to render them care. There were several people that sustained major injuries because of the riot tactics that were aggressively used. So, no, Ashley Babbitt was not the only person to die. That's the only person that we know of, but the Set can show you a video of, I think, 4 or 5 people dying.
Yeah, about 4. And if you guys want to know where we got that from, look up this documentary called January 6th Timeline. Literally takes you through the entire event and everything, and it will show you the officers that did not die. There was no officers that died on that day, but there were definitely about 4 protesters that died. I think
4 protesters that died, including Babbitt.
Yep. Yeah. But I mean, they don't know nothing about that.
Anna Paulina Luna has been all over it for months. I've talked to her about it multiple times here and on SXM Radio.
Now, it's at the level now where you have a foreign government through an American citizen who's living in China, funneling money to violent protesters in Minnesota. That's what you have. And you don't think that's a big story? And Fry and Walls know it. They know
Bill, let me say it again. I know that you would like to paint me a certain way. It would make it a little easier for you to make your arguments. I have told you several times, I jumped your own question with the guy's name because I knew where you were going to go because it's so absurd. We have been all over it. The idea that I'm hiding from that story, your causation is absurd. If you think that the protests in Minnesota are forced by some crazy guy named Singham who's forcing it with money, you haven't been watching what's happening. It's organic. Okay?
I mean, I guess it's organic in the way, I wouldn't say there's billionaire money behind this. I would say that it's the rhetoric that's being put behind it that's making it bad. It's rhetoric.
It is being fueled by the far left groups that are pumping money into it. No one's getting on a payroll and getting thousands of dollars, but I wonder where they're getting the uniform gas masks and the perfect signs and the Supreme merch and other things you just kind of see here and there. You don't really hear anything about it. So the idea that it's not funded and that it's completely organic. Sure, it's organic in the sense that people have been mind warped into believing something that's not true and are willing to go protest over it. Useful idiots are called useful idiots for a reason.
True, but I'm over here imagining these insurrectionists getting paid, protesting in Gucci or something
Yeah, I mean, there have been reports of that, credible reports of that.
Man, and that's what I could see if look, I'm not taking out the idea that there are paid protests because it's been proven that protesters do get paid, but in this one, the way they're willing to get violent in the streets about it, no, this is rhetoric. A lot of this is fueled on rhetoric.
Yes, absolutely. You don't need to pay people to act emotionally. The Democrats do that constantly every time they lose an election.
I mean, let's be real. You could tell who the paid ones are because they're the ones just trying to collect the check. It's like, I'm just here to hold up a sign. I'm not trying to go out there and risk my life.
The ones that you see in the little vests and all that fun stuff, those are paid people. They are paid to be there to organize the event and to lead its direction.
Oh, and Shout Out Gaming says CCP is behind a portion of the rebellion. Chinese Communist Party. Yeah, I heard that as well. I heard there might be a little bit of that.
The CCP is doing everything they possibly can to destabilize the United States from within. That's why TikTok was the way it was. It was a freaking Chinese propaganda machine designed. There was a bunch of creators that all had the same script around the election. If you remember that, they were all kind of making shorts on the same, almost word for word the same script, and it came out of China. There have been many examples. You don't have to directly pay somebody for it to be a paid protest. And surface level thinking is, I know it's gonna baffle all of you, and you're gonna be like, "What are you talking about, Monty?" I get it. You know, Patrick Starr, is mayonnaise an instrument?
I'm sorry, that was funny. Caught me off guard with that.
I mean, that's how they act. It's surface level thinking, and you can never explain deeper roots or deeper nuance to somebody that can only think and play team sports at surface level thinking.
True.
Bad actors there are bad actors involved on the financing. You don't think what's happening in Minnesota is justified by what they see? Well, so
Listen,
if Democrats, when Democrats subpoenaed the Trump administration and Trump, you would say, "Oh, this is a real subpoena. This is good. This is how it works." No, you blame the Democrats the whole time. How is this any different? This is political pay.
And shout out to my man Jet. Sorry, I missed that one. He says, and he said, if Pretty knew anything about guns, he wouldn't conceal and carry a SIG P320 because it has a hair trigger and absolutely can misfire, especially in a struggle. Yeah, bro, it's misfired in the holster. No, bro, just a bump. So
it is not a safe firearm. There are plenty of ranges that will not let you on the line with that gun because of the reputation that it has.
Yeah, it looks good, but not safe.
It's a beautiful gun, I tell you what. And the idea behind it, I hope they can fix the malfunction and keep the idea behind the SIG P320, because it's a wonderful concept of a gun. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. SIG, hold my beer.
Oh man. All right, I'll give you that one.
Back.
It's
Plain and
so
simple.
upset. You have foreign money coming into Minnesota to foster unrest against the federal government.
Yeah, it's no good.
And you're
it's no
going,
good. It's no good when they did it on college campuses. No, I'm talking about MAGA with the subpoenas. Bill, you got to keep things straight, brother. You said they're being subpoenaed. They're being subpoenaed because MAGA's going after its political opponents. The money coming in is a problem.
MAGA?
That's not about the subpoenas.
The federal government going after it. The
do.
federal government is issuing the subpoenas, not MAGA. What's the matter with you? You are so lost in your theoretical
wait a second.
world.
Wait. So anything that the Trump administration does is MAGA.
Yeah.
No, ignore the fact that a district court judge, the same district court judge that's been fucking blocking every single thing, has signed the search warrant for the Georgia state of elections search warrant that just conducted the other day. So you mean to tell me that this administration cannot do anything without you saying it's partisan politics, but the previous administration was allowed to do literally everything, and it was, we're partisan if we say anything against it. And the previous administration before Trump's first term was allowed to spy on his campaign and fabricate evidence against him for political reasons. But you guys took that hook, line, and sinker, didn't say a fucking word, and now that it's been proven the other way, now you want to sit back and act like that never happened and nothing ever existed out of it. But you project so fucking hard. And it's hilarious how much they project. Oh, nothing they do is legitimate, but literally they're doing everything they're accusing the Trump administration of doing themselves.
Yeah, like crazy. But shout out. I know. That's when I was first watching this debate. I was like, Cuomo, man, what the F? Like, are you serious? So like, you
have amnesia? Did he get hit on the head?
Oh, this is another MAGA takedown. I'm like, or they could have actually committed some crimes. Could that be a reason as well? Is that
no?
outside
The Democrats don't commit any crimes. Set. Don't you understand? If it's for a righteous cause, it's not illegal. If it's for their righteous echo chamber, it's there's nothing wrong with stealing elections. There's nothing wrong with rioting. It's called peaceful protesting and exercising your right to vote 5 times.
I guess there's nothing more noble than the F Trump agenda.
Exactly. That's all this is. Literally, they have this freaking Trump card, no pun intended, that they use every single time any accountability is levied upon them. Oh, it's just Trump going after political opponents. Well, maybe if political opponents weren't corrupt, they wouldn't have any dirt on them.
Good point.
Ever think of that?
When the Democrats were going after Trump, You said, well, this is the federal government. This is how it works. No, you said it was lawfare. You said it was political playback and that it was baseless.
I never
and they
said
were
that word
ruining
in
the
my life.
democracy. You said all of it. You said it right here.
You're
and
crazy.
you weren't wrong. And you weren't wrong. But now you want to pretend that this is legit. But when Democrats go after Trump, it's illegit. Come on, Trump. Come on. Bill, that's what it is.
It's ridiculous. All you're doing is pettifogging the actual story. And the actual story is an insurrection.
I ain't never heard that word before, but I know the context clues. But hold on, Monty, you want to say something to that?
Oh no, I mean that's he's exactly right. I don't know the word either, but context clues are great. That's why I passed, every greatest school I've ever been in. Good context clues. But he's absolutely right. He's muddying the argument. We'll use that word because big brain. Muddying the argument to delegitimize the actual implications of what they are finding because it's just partisan politics. If Trump does it, it's partisan politics. If a Democrat does it, it's upholding the rule of law, and nobody's above the law.
It's like this, like with the whole Tim Walz thing. It's like, bro, you not see this mountain of fraud that's going on in Minnesota? It's like, bro, it's getting crazy. And they're like, well, Tim Walz is your political opponent. So it's not because of the fraud, it's because of Tim Walz. I'm like, no, I promise it's because of the fraud. No, you liar. It's because he's Tim Walz. It's like, all right, well, could it be both?
But no. But Trump pardoned fraudsters. So Trump that's a liberal head exploding.
Nah, that is hilarious. Though every time we bring up the fraud, well, Trump just pardoned some fraudsters. I'm like, what does that got to do with this? What does that got to do with
prosecuted
being fraudulent right now? Like this is going on now, and the guys you're complaining about already did like 5 to 20 years, guys. The main guys are talking about, one guy that got released did 20 years already. He got punished and then he was pardoned. If you were mad about that, whatever, but I'm not, because he at least did 20 years. We're talking about guys that ain't doing a day in jail, that's doing it right now. That you're trying to compare to somebody who did 20 years.
So because Trump pardoned someone, that means that Democrats are allowed to commit fraud now. They want a what's the word? A catalyst, so that they can be able to say that their fraud is okay because it's noble and just. And their base will stand behind it. They'll go with some bullshit like, oh, it's just payback for blah 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 blah. It's just this. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like Trump made the joke that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and everybody would still vote for him. That is the Democratic Party. They can commit fraud. They can import illegals that subvert.
Monty, they could wish death on children and still be AG.
They can celebrate a man's death and orphan his kids, and they'll celebrate it, and it'll be, no big deal. It's just trolls on the internet.
Like, I mean, it is kind of crazy. Like, I always did say, y'all lost the argument when what was it? Jay Jones, when the Attorney General for Virginia, Jay Jones, when he got caught wishing death on children and a man's wife, and he still got elected. I'm sorry, but you guys have lost that argument on, you guys go for Trump no matter what he do. You guys voted for a Democrat who wished death on children. Miss me with that.
Oh,
it's an insurrection being
insurrection
by China.
Oh, what's up?
I want to bring up something because you brought up Jay Jones, the new Attorney General of Virginia. Guess what? The lovely Democrats in Virginia are proposing now. Look up House Bill 863.
Boy, hold on. Did you see the House bill? Boy, did you see the bill where they said that if you're a white contractor, they're now going to be like not going for you guys, not going for white contractors, and pretty much only going for women or minority contractors who charge more?
Cool. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not a contractor in Virginia, but that's just plain racism is what that is.
Oh yeah, they don't care no more. But wait, what was it called again?
House Bill 863. It removes the mandatory minimum sentences for damn near every violent crime, including rape, including child pornography, possession of, DUIs. It gets rid of the 3-strike rule. It is essentially like where like, for example, if you get found in possession of
Proposed Virginia legislation HB 863 as of January 2026 aims to eliminate mandatory minimum prison sentence for various crimes, including violent offenders like rape, manslaughter, and child pornography distribution. But supported by some Democrats and criticized by law enforcement for potentially risking public safety, the bill seeks to give judge more discretion in sentencing.
And this is remember this, Set. Remember, this is part of that big blue wave that they were so happy about. This is what the Democrats want when they get in power. Just remember that come midterms.
I mean, and it's right here, guys. I'm not BSing. You can literally Google this and it'll pull up right for you.
They just got into power and they're already trying to upset the balance of things.
Man, oh bro, did you see that that Brett Cooper video that she did on Virginia? How that pretty much going straight Marxist?
Yeah, no, that like it's hard charging straight to freaking. They want to ensure that state stays blue forever. Right now, it's a purple state leaning red, but they want to make sure that they're just going to turn it into another California.
Yep, like bro, it's over. It's blue for life at that point.
Yes, it is. Of course, it is. It's a defiance of the federal government. It's a defiance of it.
The funding is a problem.
That's what it is.
Look, I don't disagree, but that doesn't make it an insurrection any more than January 6th was an insurrection.
Right.
Because it wasn't.
Let's go back to South Carolina.
And shout out Toe, she says, in fact, many gun owners pensioned to have the P320 pulled from stores. There was even a lawsuit over it. I would hope so. Shout out to my man Gaming. They look this way while we go that way. Classic switch. I agree. And shout out to my man Jet. He says, is Monty trying out for The View? I'm crying. What? What did Monty say that was overly left-leaning?
I didn't say anything left-leaning.
That's all I say. That's the only time you can end up on The View. You just go balls to the wall against Trump.
I'd also have to become a trans woman.
Oh, that too, though. That too. You know, that'll help. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. That's gonna put you
And
like
gain.
at the front of the list.
I'd have to gain about 150 pounds too.
Oh, at that point, bro, you're the next guest appearance at that point.
An organized movement to take over the government.
You know, I
But
mean,
what I'm saying, Bill,
nicknaming
is
you James Buchanan. It's James Buchanan Cuomo. So he made the same argument. Oh, South Carolina is not anticipating. They're not. Not an insurrection. Even though they're stockpiling arms, beating the hell out of our union people, threatening everybody, and finally opening up fire on a fort.
You talking about ICE?
I'm talking about James Buchanan before the Civil War. It was an insurrection in the South. It's an insurrection in Minnesota.
This is not an
And
insurrection.
you don't want to admit it.
Of course, but I have no problem admitting it. I have no problem admitting it if it were true. These are people who are pissed off by what they're seeing happen in their communities. Doesn't mean they want to overthrow the government. And you can't look at this.
What are you talking about? They have said as much. They have said as much. They have said as much.
Yeah, they say right to our face, actually.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
like,
that's why
the blatant ignorance of the facts of the matter is appalling to me. They have said as much. The only good federal agent is a dead federal agent. What does that mean? What does that mean?
They're calling to hang Kristi Noem. What do you like? Come on now, man.
What are you talking about? Like, this is not, oh, I disagree with you politically. This is, I want to make you scared to even engage on the subject. We'll kill you if you engage on the subject. Then we'll celebrate your murderer. We will dance on your grave and say you deserved it. We will call you every name in the book as to incite violence against you. We will dox you. We will write down your plate number and tell you you have an hour to leave or you're dead. Remember that? Yeah. That happened, what, a week ago?
James O'Keefe.
We will bash you over the head with a cinder block if we don't like what you have to say. We will do anything. We'll get in your face at a restaurant, at a gasoline station. We'll let you know you're not welcome. Yeah. That's not a difference in ideology. That is terrorism versus fucking everyday people that want to live a life and don't want their kids to be taken away from them because they don't agree with a trans ideology. Like, what in the hell Wake the fuck up, people. Use reasonability and fucking rationality and context clues over blinding echo chamber fucking emotions, and maybe, just maybe, you might learn something.
And you know what's actually crazy? I'm about to play this video, but James O'Keefe actually released the full video to this. Let me see. James O'Keefe inside the Minnesota mob. I think he actually released 2 videos to it. I can play one of them, but the full video is like, bro, it's like almost 2 hours long.
And then the first comment I see is MAGA does the same thing on both sides. Blah 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. No, the fuck we don't. We stay at home. We stay at home and worry about our finances. We stay at home and worry about how we're gonna make it in life. We stay at home so that we can go to work the next morning because we have jobs and we don't just protest because Tim Walz told us to. We don't. There is no violent. You cannot show me a widespread message of violence on the right. Tell me the last time a liberal pundit was executed while he was speaking. Tell me the last time someone said, let's 86-47. Tell me the last time someone said, get violent and get in their face. Tell me the last time that a state has just acted with impunity and acted like the federal government has no rights to do anything or enforce any law. Remember the 10th Amendment? That's a huge 10th Amendment argument. Oh, the 10th Amendment, it gives states rights, blah, blah, blah. Do you not care about states' rights anymore? The several states got together and made this thing called a constitution, and the federal government took power on immigration. Why? Because the federal government has more states than the states have borders. So this is a long-standing. Remember when Biden was president and Texas tried to enforce immigration law, and they said you can't do that, and took away Texas's ability to put Connex boxes and razor wire at the southern border.
Bro,
it's because the federal government has that policy and has that power.
All right, let's get into it.
This is James O'Keefe in downtown Minneapolis. We have a team of undercover reporters still inside the mob. I was at the scene of the shooting, covering it this morning, and basically we barely got out of there alive. There were a few hundred that surrounded us, started throwing ice bottles at us. A few hit us, hit our vehicle. They were starting to rip off my bulletproof vest, so we got out of there. We were followed, we were tailed, and here we are right now. We just got this message, and it says, we know that you're in Minneapolis. You're with O'Keefe and his crew of Nazis. You're in a white Ford license plate. They actually wrote the license plate down from Florida. You have 1 hour to leave or you're dead. You have 1 hour to leave or you're dead. We are
That's
going
not
to
inconspicuous.
gathering everything we've got from this weekend. We're going to put our report together along with the hidden camera footage that we have. We still have undercover people in the field. Please pray for my team's safety. This is worse than anything I could have possibly imagined. I have security with me, former Marine, and he said that it was worse than overseas, and it was certainly anything worse than I've seen the cartel at the border. We're going to contact law enforcement, DHS, and the FBI, and we're going to try to get out of here safely so we can bring the news to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be going off the way I'm going off if this was just, isolated incident here, isolated incident there. No, there are people that are riled up to do this shit. And because people are riled up to do it, you see it at an alarming rate. This is not isolated. You can go through, and if you actually took the time and had any journalistic integrity, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the people that are in the back. If you had any journalistic integrity about yourself, you could go and read and learn about any number of things. And there's too many to fucking count. There's too many to point out. I could go all day long and just go and research things. But it never matters, right? It's just every time isolated incidents mean it's a one-off and it's weird that it happened. When people expect this, it's not isolated. It's a coordinated, or it may not be a coordinated effort, but it's damn sure not isolated.
And all right, now let's go ahead and get into the next video because Minneapolis residents question Mayor Fry over citywide crisis. So let's see what he got to say for himself. And then maybe we'll get into that James O'Keefe video.
Mac is from Richfield, Minnesota. Alex Preddy took care of his dad, Terrence Lee Randolph, when he was dying at the VA. He was his hospice nurse, essentially, and Alex honored his dad in this video. I just want to play that for our viewers.
Today we remember that freedom is not free. We have to work at it, nurture it, protect it, and even
Oh my
sacrifice for it.
fucking God.
May we never forget and always remember our brothers and sisters who have served so that we may enjoy the gift of freedom.
Why are they trying to act
Matt
like
Wilton,
Alex
what's your
wrote this? That is a script that's given for every hero walk. And
Yeah.
Alex is somehow the star-spangled fucking Captain America because he read a script.
I mean, did you see the AI cleanup they gave him, my man?
Oh man, bro, they gave him the perfect proportion. They made his head not 8 feet long, and his eyebrows and his skin was all brightened up, and his facial blemishes were cleaned up, and his bald spot was filled in. The man, bro, it's wild the amount of propaganda that's being put out on this guy. And like, was he a good guy generally? I mean, if you ignore the spitting on federal agents and vandalizing property and fighting with federal agents and obstructing law enforcement, then yeah, I'm sure he was a great guy to talk to. That doesn't mean anything. None of that means anything. What is he willing to do to obstruct law enforcement? Oh, he's willing to do all that? Then no. I don't understand why any of that even matters. Stop trying to humanize somebody that acted like a dog.
Oh damn. But yeah, this is how they did him. I mean, you can see the difference. You can see the difference.
They did the same thing to Joe Rogan when they tried to make him look like a green man.
Yeah, try to make it look like a Ninja Turtle. But all right.
That's what they do. They're like, it's all about narrative building. And that's, it used to be, oh, they'll clip something up and be like, oh yeah, we just clipped it for time. You're telling me you clipped that for time, but you had the time to go into Photoshop and turn Joe Rogan into a Ninja Turtle and turn Alex Peretti into fucking something that's not hideous?
Man, I mean, shoot, turn him into Nurse Chad.
Nurse Chad. I'm like I don't say all this to bring discredit to what he did outside of these actions. But we cannot just ignore his entire freaking confrontation with law enforcement because he was a good guy. Well, no, most people aren't Dr. Doofenshmirtz just always trying to do evil shit. Like, come on. Like, I can find good and bad on anybody in this chat if I know enough about you and I can research enough into you. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you deserve to die. That doesn't mean that you deserve to be able to obstruct law enforcement either. Like, can we stop with this fucking partisan politics over somebody's life?
Yeah, I would hope.
Like, you only care about him because he's furthering your political message. I care about him because he's a healthcare provider. I care about him because he was doing good things for the fucking country and for our veterans. You don't give a fuck about him other than it fucking furthers your point, which is despicable and disgusting.
No, right, man. Shout out to my man Monty, because cooking. But
sorry, I'm gonna get some shadow banned again.
Man, I think I might actually figured out what was going on there, but we'll talk about that later. And
all right.
Shout out to Toe. She says, that's the speech the military officer used to pay tribute to my veteran grandpa at his funeral. Yeah,
yep.
I mean,
yeah. It's a scripted speech. The reason I know that, why? Because my mom did funeral details.
I mean, well, like they never said the man was a poet like Renee Good, so
Renee Good wrote that speech.
I'm done. All right.
Like,
is there?
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. I understand the need to humanize somebody because it pulls at the heartstrings harder, and rational people, it can take your emotion and try to weaponize it. That's what it is. It's weaponizing empathy. It's weaponizing emotion for the express intent to use people as pawns to make more martyr material. That's all this is.
But all right, let's get back into it.
Transparency from feds on a timeline when their operation would be satisfied and they would conclude, or is this just the new reality?
Mac, first, thank you for being here. It's got to be a pretty emotional thing.
having someone that took such good care and had such deep respect for your dad get shot and killed in Alex Preddy. The question is, do we have some form of transparency in this investigation? How do we know that it will be conducted fully and fairly?
No, actually, it's whether there's a timeline on
I
the operation from the feds. Is there any transparency on when maybe they would be satisfied and conclude this overall operation, or are they just saying this will just be ongoing for indefinitely?
Look, we don't have a timeline as to when and how it will be drawn down. And I know that's as frustrating and as concerning to me as it is so many other people in our country, because look, Mac, you know this as well as I do. This is not about safety. If this were about safety, there would be so many important mechanisms where we could, in fact, partner. We have partnered extensively. We've partnered with the federal government, with the DEA, the FBI, the ATF, to successfully drive down crime. For instance, on the north side of Minneapolis, shootings are at a record low. Crime is down in virtually every category in every neighborhood. But that's not what this is about. And so do I have a timeline as to when it's going to end? No, that would be a better question for the federal government. But we're going to do everything possible that we can to advocate, to push, and to stand up for the neighbors who we love so dearly.
What do you have to say to those who are arguably the majority, who feel that harsh words and public statements are not enough to address this crisis?
I would say that they are exactly right. Words alone are not going to do anything. And that's why in the city of Minneapolis, we are taking clear action to change this. And the battlefield that we operate on is the battlefield of the law. We are right legally. The actions that have taken place in our street are unconstitutional. You can't.
Bro, God damn it. Anyway, though, what I was pretty much saying was that he can't sit there and blame Trump for his lack of leadership. You can't sit there and blame ICE for, well, your lack of leadership in providing crowd control. And it's pretty damn unfair to just sit there and try to make it seem like, oh, well, this is all ICE's fault. They're the ones who are the aggressors, when no, actually the obstructionists are the ones who are the aggressor. Remember, Alex Preddy walked up to that ICE officer. Yes, Alex Preddy walked up to that ICE officer. He had every choice to walk away, but he did it. Renee Good, she chose to be in the middle of the road, honking her horn in rhythm to obstruct ICE officers and stop their investigation. I mean, sadly, we just can't sit here and say that. I mean, well, sadly for you, Dan, we can't sit here and say that ICE is in the wrong. The only way they could have been in the wrong if there was actually police out there providing crowd control and an ICE officer still somehow shot somebody past that police barricade. Then we could sit here and talk about, oh, how bad ICE is, but we can't, because none of the responsible actions were taken. And he's supposed to be taking these responsible actions. And it's crazy how the Dems, this is why you have irresponsible leadership, because you don't hold them responsible to what they tell you. You don't hold them responsible for providing you guys safety. I mean, why are you guys in the most high crime cities and states in America? Because you don't hold your politicians accountable.
Randomly yank off the street a person because they happen to look Somali or they happen to look Latino. You can't detain United States citizens, rip them away from their family, and they don't even know where they went. And so we have the law on our side. We are preemptively and responsively suing. We hope to get a ruling on that lawsuit in the next several days because, to Mac's point, Sophia, to your point, We can't just allow this to continue. But that's not the only work that's happening. People in this city, and God bless them, are standing up. Tens of thousands of people, they're the heroes in this story, peacefully protesting, standing up for their neighbors, delivering food for people that are afraid to go outside, taking a watch at a daycare to make sure that their friends, their neighbors, our family, we are a collective family, that they're safe. And if there's inspiration to take it from them. Take it from the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Minneapolitans and Minnesotans that are standing up saying, you know what, we are better united, we are better together. And that, if nothing else, has been ridiculously powerful. I've never been prouder to be from Minneapolis.
Minneapolis has taken a lot of criticism from the Trump administration for being a sanctuary city. Mayor Frey, can you explain what it means to be a sanctuary city, why Minneapolis is a sanctuary city, and why you believe being a sanctuary city makes Minneapolis a safer place?
Because that's who elected me.
There's a lot of terms.
Well, I'm sorry, say that again, Monty.
Because the immigrants are the ones that elected me.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, let's be real. I mean, you got to kind of placate to what the Somalians say when they're like 80,000, 100K deep in your city.
Let me answer that question for Mayor Frey. Can you run it back to the question? I just want to do the bit. I want to do the bit.
Minneapolis is a sanctuary city, and why you believe being a sanctuary city makes Minneapolis a safer place.
Oh, well, let me answer that, ma'am. So if we make our city a sanctuary city, then that means that we can at least obstruct or stop the deportation of our voter base. Bruh. And in order to get our agendas pushed, you know, the things that, you know, line our pockets, we like being rich, right? So money buys you things, and the Somalians, they give us a little cut right off the top. And if Trump deports those people, then, you know, we're not going to have that money come in anymore. And we'll be very angry, and we'll use the National Guard on you like we did during COVID to make sure you stay in your homes.
Well,
So do you want the National Guard? Do you want the National Guard to shoot you with tear gas because you dare walk outside? No, I think not. So we need to keep those illegal immigrants here, and we need to keep them committing fraud and look nothing at us. Like, I don't understand. Like, money is great. Aren't you happy?
Oh, Monty, you forgot that one final point. Who's gonna pick the fruits in the cotton, guys?
Look, we don't have any farms.
Our corporate slaves. If we don't
There's
have
no farms in
illegals.
Minneapolis. There's no farms in Minneapolis. Maybe that's the argument for California and Texas and all these places. But yeah, it's more like who's gonna do your roof for a good deal?
Yep.
In Minneapolis
for $10,000.
Who's gonna put your siding on?
Who's gonna be my labor slave? That's what y'all really asking yourselves.
They got rid of slavery in the 1800s, and this is just a new modern form of it because the Democrats
and what party's defending it again?
Oh shit! Don't say that, Set.
Again, y'all defending slavery? Y'all ain't learned no lessons.
Oh man, the irony.
Bro, I guess history really do repeat itself. Who knew we'd catch ourselves once again, Democrats, after this whole new remodeling and all this rebranding, and they're right back here supporting corporate slavery, supporting slavery, bro. That's so
come
crazy.
on, man, bro. Watch how he actually responds. Like I did that completely ironically, and now watch him unironically say that the Trump administration is bad and that there are neighbors and that they should be allowed to molest little kids.
Jesus. But
American citizens actually do that.
Shout out to Toe. She says, PSA, any racist insults towards hosts will get you perma-banned. And I should not have to say this. Yeah, I mean, you guys should be able to make an argument without getting racist. Unless you just are a genuine racist and you just can't help yourself. And for that,
they're emotional. They're emotional as fuck. They can, that's the only argument that they can make. And when you dig really deep down into someone's emotional core and they're an evil person, those are the things that come out, Set.
Which is wild because these are the same people that would sit there and call Donald Trump a racist, but then you're here making.
They're just projecting. It takes one to know one, I guess. It takes one to know one, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Because I am pretty racist sometimes. All right, I'm playing.
Stop it.
There's a lot of terminology about what is or what isn't a sanctuary city. But in Minneapolis, we have something called a separation ordinance. And what that ordinance states is that we do not work on immigration enforcement. We do not cooperate with federal agencies around immigration enforcement.
We know.
We do work extensively with federal agencies to protect people and keep them safe. As I mentioned, we've had a number of incidents, many different administrations where we've worked with the federal administration to help. But it's not
But why
on
can't you do it
federal
now?
immigration law. Why? Again, because I want our police spending time protecting the residents of our city, stopping homicides and carjackings, making sure that violent offenders are investigated and held accountable. What the separation ordinance also says is that we won't ask the question as to whether an individual is documented or not. And here's why. We want people that are undocumented to have the confidence to call 911 without the fear that they'll get deported in doing so.
Bruh?
Bro.
Hold on, though. I'm just gonna be real with you. I kind of get the emotional aspect of it, but logically, bro, what the hell are you saying? You're talking about, well, I want illegal citizens to be able to make phone calls without the risk of being, well, I get where you're coming at, but it's like, hold on, bro. Why are they even in your city? Like, well, why are they in your city so comfortable to the point where they can feel like they should be able to make a police call? The only police call they should be making is on themselves.
The only people when there's an illegal immigrant dealing with a situation, the only reason that a 911 call is being made is because the illegal immigrant is victimizing somebody else.
I mean, yeah.
That's
Hold on. Let's say
the
there is an illegal immigrant that happens to catch some stuff and they call in. I mean, here's the thing: you don't got to stick around.
Yeah.
You just leave. So I mean, that's not even really a problem. I mean, you could call in something and not stick around. It's like you could call in a crash on the middle of the street. Don't mean you got to pull over and stick by him the whole time.
And
you're nice.
You have things called the Good Samaritan Law. It already covers you. If you need help, an EMT is not going to ask, "Are you an American citizen?" Because if not, I'm not going to treat you. I'm going to call ICE,
which would be savage. I'm sorry, bro. I know you're in agonizing pain and both your legs broken, but you're not an American citizen. You're
not an American citizen. You know what? We're gonna jump you off at the border. How's
but
that
Monty,
sound?
though, I remember I made one effed up joke. I said, but what if we did do that? You know, bro, that would immediately stop immigration the next day, in my opinion. If we let a whole bunch of illegals get hurt and just don't give them no medical care because they're not U.S. citizens, they would stop coming here the next day. Because
There's already what my point is that there's already laws and there's already laws that are on the books that mean that you have to give care to anybody. So or that you have to respond to calls. This is really just a red herring in the argument so that they can have these open border policies and have states where they're sanctuary states. That's what it is. They want to protect it's not a passive thing where, oh, we're not going to do anything. They are going to do what they can to make sure the feds don't know where the illegals are. So they have to go into the streets.
And here's the thing, though, like 9 times out of 10, bro, an illegal's not reporting anything. So why would you believe that illegals being able to call the police will make the city safer?
It's not, bro. It's literally it's an argument to keep it, and it's a bad argument at that. It holds no weight in the actual argument if you put any logic to it. Like we just did that, right? We literally just put logic to it, and it holds no weight. So that means it's designed for something else. What else could it possibly be designed for? Well, look at the actual effect of what's happening because of that policy. Now it's harder for ICE to go do their jobs, and they make a big fucking stink about it. And so any political pressure is very easy to wage because you're making it chaos and anarchy in the streets because you lost a fucking election and you don't like it.
And shout out to my man Jen. He says, S.E.T, he needs illegals shovel his property cheap. And well, yeah, he needs illegals to shovel his property. Like, damn. I mean, man, that's what we all use them for. It's always about cheap labor. It's like, bro, but you know, so FW, I mean, y'all don't really care about these people. Y'all just care about cheap labor. If they didn't provide
That's
cheap
all they care
labor,
about.
then I'll be real with you, you wouldn't really care about them. Like it's
And
all
then
about like
the rebuttal to that argument is, oh, let's make them all citizens so that they have to get paid a minimum wage. It's like, are you stupid? Are you absolutely like what kind of a message does that send? That we're just a bunch of punks and we're just gonna let our country be overrun?
yeah, pretty much. Just walk in here, you get it. You get automatic citizenship. Like, bro, I mean, bro, we're gonna have like 600 million people within the next 3 years if that's the case.
And like, why is it that if you do anything in self-preservation, or argue for anything that could possibly have anything good to do with the United States, somehow you're every name in the book? Or is it simply just because they don't have any good arguments and they really just want the voters? And if they name call you and demoralize you, then they don't have to argue with you?
Yeah, I mean, if you make enough emotional arguments, you can win an argument. I mean, yeah, you make enough emotional arguments to a crowd. It don't matter how much facts you bring. It's how that person can make the crowd feel that can low-key win them the debate.
Set. At what point in our life wait. I want you to think about what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
What other subgroup of people makes emotional temper tantrums when they don't get their way?
Manipulative bastards.
And toddlers.
Oof. That's true.
It's toddler thinking. Toddlers have no accountability. They blame everything. They blame everything on something else because they don't know any better. They do things to get away with things. They do things to be manipulative. If they don't get their way, they run and scream and terrorize you until you give them their way. All this is all a product. This is all a product of bad parenting. And look where these kids didn't get beat as kids, and it shows.
Yeah, we spared them the rod, as they say in the Bible. But man,
and
look,
spoiled the child.
We screwed up, and they should have got a. Hey, look, man, they might get that belt to the ass, or yeah, you might get belt to ass soon enough. So we'll see. They keep on playing around.
But they're old enough now that it makes no sense when they have consequences to their actions. It doesn't make sense. They're not going to learn anything. They're just going to think you're evil. Because you dare uphold immigration law. You dare tell them that they're not allowed to kick taillights out. They're not allowed to spit on people. They're not allowed to throw rocks at people. What? There's consequences to my actions? If I walk up to a police officer and engage him and resist him and I'm armed, there might be a chance that I die? I thought that we had the Second Amendment and the First Amendment.
No, here's the funny part. Hold on. I attacked an ICE officer. I'm going to jail. What? I'm going to jail for attacking a Nazi or the Gestapo? Like, where are we in Germany? Like, bro, really?
What?
Hey, that's how they moving.
I cannot wait until ICE comes to Seattle. I'm gonna make a video. I'm telling you, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go up to an ICE officer and I'm gonna be like, hey, if I fight with you, what are the chances that I'm gonna die? And just fucking wait for the answer. And like, if I just comply with you, what are the chances that I'm gonna die? Huh. Okay. So like respecting authority leads to good outcomes. Huh. Maybe we should respect authority. Maybe, just maybe, we should acknowledge that they do have a constitutional authority to deport people.
But then they'll call you a bootlicker. You know what I say to that? I mean, boy,
a bootlicker.
Like, boy, you're gonna be licking the pavement when you put your ass on the ground. So I mean, really? Like, if you want to call me a bootlicker, you're gonna be a pavement licker in a second.
Bro, a bootlicker. I've never licked a boot in my life other than to polish my own boots.
They'll be licking ICE boots when they put their ass on the ground right next to their boots. So I mean, trust me.
A bootlicker. Like, you know where that term came from?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah. So what? It doesn't even make sense.
It don't. But trust me, though.
But they think it does because they're just screaming. They're screaming obscenities because if you demonize somebody and demoralize them and discredit their very existence, it's really, you don't have to argue with them. And none of their debates can stand up to any scrutiny. So their only recourse is to just make your argument irrelevant and just call you a bootlicker. Or in your case, the tolerant left loves the racial slurs. You know, I've never heard a conservative voice, I'm a mod, mind you. I have never seen a conservative leaning person in your chat say anything racist about you. It has always been somebody that disagrees with you on the left.
Sadly, they're the ones that jump to it. I mean, there's probably only been one conservative. One. I could on my hand, I could probably count like maybe, you know what? Yeah, one or two that was conservative that said something crazy to me. And that's about it. But bro, I can't even count them when it comes to liberals. It's too much.
I have removed no less than 100. No
Bro,
less than 100.
I have 362 like what was it? Hidden users, people that we had to pretty much permaban. 362.
Jesus.
No.
But that's where all your viewers went. That's all the racists.
They've been all banned. Some of them I unbanned because I was like, bro, what the hell would you do? Some of them are actually, I ain't gonna lie, like mods. Like, look, just because somebody disagree with you, don't mean you perma-ban them. Because there was some guys in there that I was like, I was wondering where you went. We never disagreed like that. You never said anything crazy. So I might have to go through there again to do some work. But all right, though.
Just go. I would say just go unban everybody. And
yeah,
just go and start over. Unban everybody. You do need to. Is there a way before you start commenting you can put that little message up that says, you know, you have to be respectful, you can't be racist, you can't do all that.
Yeah, actually, I can do that.
You should absolutely do that so that they're warned as soon as they come into the chat that if these things are said, you're just going to be gone.
And is what it is.
Can you? And then can you put keywords in too that get banned automatically?
I can, but man, I don't like that though. I'll be like, certain.
I feel like Uncle Tom should be something that bans you.
Nah, I'll let them have it. It lets me know where their head's at. Sometimes I know where their head's at by what argument they use. When they call me an Uncle Tom, sometimes I just know they're black. I'm like, okay, you're black. I know it's like they expose who they are just from the insults that they use.
But yo, an ignorant black man.
Is like, oh well, okay, Daquan. All right.
Okay, Daquan.
It's a safety strategy. That's not an immigration strategy. That is a safety strategy. And by the way, this is a strategy that has been implemented and supported not just by Minneapolis and my administration. This goes back even to Rudy Giuliani, the radical leftist, who said himself,
I'm weak. And shout out to Jed, another PSA. He says, we don't call the spectrum/disabled folks retarded. They're good peoples. We call the retards, okay, liberal. I mean, yeah, that's true.
You can't call me retarded. I'm on the spectrum. I am on the spectrum. So if you call me retarded, if you are referring to me as retarded, I will take that as hate speech.
Yeah, I've heard that before. And it's understandable. All right, no,
who said himself that we want people to call 911 and not to have a fear in doing so.
Mayor Fry, what material commitments are you making to community members, our community members, who have been harmed, detained, or have had their loved ones brutalized? As the mayor of the city, what concrete actions will you and the city of Minneapolis take, such as providing financial support, coordinating resources, or pursuing legal action?
All of the above, providing financial support, coordinating legal resources, and of course, pursuing action. These are actions that are underway, and we need to bolster them even further. So first, we are proactively and responsively suing based on the unconstitutional conduct that is happening in our streets. Second, we are working with a number of victims of these unconstitutional actions to try to hook them up with organizations where they can themselves have standing to sue. Third, we have a task force that is set up so that we've got communication channels that are in line so that we get through this most difficult of situations. And finally, look, our entire city enterprise.
Whoa, you got all this dedicated to pretty much going against ICE, but you can't do nothing to, keep your protesters or your constituents safe?
You stole the fucking words out of my mouth, my man.
Bro, like all these resources you're allocating together and we can't get no crowd enforcement.
But we only have 600 police officers. We can't do crowd control. That would be an undue strain.
It's like, bro.
What? I felt bad for him for a second. Like, I actually felt bad for the police chief. I mean, I still feel bad for the police chief because I feel like he's in an impossible position. I no longer take the mayor's argument that we only have 600 police officers, because if you have the money to coordinate and sue and do all this fun stuff to obstruct, you have the money to, it doesn't even require money. It's a simple policy change. When they get out of prison, respect the ICE detainer. It's not. They're not asking their police officers to go door to door. They're asking the jail, hey, when you pick up an illegal, hey, let us know so we can take them out for your streets. So we don't have to bring 3,000 ICE officers to your streets.
All I can say is, gotcha, bitch. Like, bro, really? Gotcha, bitch. Like, you just like expose yourself. You just expose how you could allocate all these sources, but not to crowd control. But you're like, oh yeah, we're helping to, bring cause all this legal trouble for them. We're gonna create organizations for that. But I just can't. I just can't find the resources.
It's almost as if their stated goal, or as if their intentional goal is to keep illegal immigrants in their cities and be a sanctuary for them. They're doing everything they can to not uphold the law, but they're proactively trying to sue. None of these things, all of these things would be a moot point if illegal immigrants that are in Minneapolis that the state knows about were turned over to federal agents so that they could be deported. That is the law. That is the law. You don't have to comply with it, but you damn sure don't get to obstruct it.
And ain't that the truth? All right, back to it.
Has been operating over the last several weeks, if not months, to do everything possible that we can to keep our residents safe and to have an emergency response to what's presently taking place. And that includes things like having our community service officers deliver food. These are soon-to-be police officers deliver food for people that would otherwise be afraid to go out of their homes. This is everything that's happening through offices of immigrant and refugee affairs to make sure that they have legal supports in place if and when they need them. And here's the other truth. Is it enough? And this is real. No, and I'm sorry. I never in a million years would I have imagined.
Apologize to the criminals.
That
this
kind of thing would happen in America. That the Department of Justice would be weaponized against local people and elected officials, that we'd have this broad invasion of thousands of agents, not to keep people safe, but causing chaos in our street. And so I'm sorry to you, to your community, and to your soon-to-be profession as a lawyer. And if I could just add one more thing, we need more people just like you, because you're the one that's going to stand up for these constitutional rights going forward. You're the one that is going to ensure the endurance of our republic, which quite literally depends on people speaking out in favor of our country, in favor of America.
When your officers are prevented from inspecting crime scenes.
Somebody said in the chat, like, damn, that guy's good. I mean, the way he did flip that, like, yeah, we're going to need you to go out there and uphold our Constitution. We're going to need all of you to stand with us against the Trump regime. And it's like, man, I give it to him. Hey, bro, these guys are spin masters. I give it to them. I see why people like them sometimes, because the spin, bro, look.
Bro, the spin is nauseating if you have an IQ above 55.
Yeah, but if not, I mean, it's masterful. Like, the spin wonderful. Is masterful. They be getting your ass to think whatever, whenever, get you to believe whatever type of rhetoric that they want you to believe just off the spin of it. And sometimes the spin is so obvious, but you're right. I mean, I guess some people whose IQ isn't high enough, I mean, they just get tricked or just go.
Have you never
or they're lazy,
not paid attention?
Intellectually lazy?
Yeah, I guess that is like. I mean, maybe it's just autism, but pattern recognition is a very, very strong suit of mine. And that's why people like Sid piss me off, because I can see what is happening before it even happens. Like when you spin something and when you try to manipulate an argument, or you use malicious compliance, or you do things like that, that is what pisses me off the most, because I see it. I see it coming because the next shoe to drop is this, and the next shoe to drop is this, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious to watch. Like he said, he was masterful. We're gonna need you. Build a sense of self-worth in that young man so that he agrees
Self-worth
with
and
you.
unity.
Mm-hmm.
Cole?
We're a collective. We're a collective family. What does that sound like, Set?
Sound a bit cultish, but what do I know, man? What do I know? I'm just in the MAGA cult. What do I know? Apparently, I'm a cult. Apparently, we're all cult members, guys. We're all
Set, we're all cult members, yet there's a reason you bring me up here to give a contrast to your viewpoints.
Yep.
There's a reason you bring up other conservatives to talk to you. How many debates
liberals.
over fucking random shit have we gotten into?
So many. So many. Even on stuff you thought we would like both agree on. Like outside,
Absolutely.
like, bro, all the time. And bro, we even bring liberals up here to give their opinion as well. Well, the sane ones.
How many times have I agreed with something Sid said, opposed to you, and me and Sid, who are normally arguing against each other? But how many times has Sid come over to the right side and said, you know what, I agree with that, and I'm going to hold that message? Why is it everything has to be on the opposite side of the equal sign, to the left of the equal sign? But Democrats are more than happy to hear a Republican talk shit about another Republican.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. I don't know. Sometimes, well,
it's almost like we're not a cult and we're not an echo chamber, and the people that are calling us a cult and an echo chamber are the cult and echo chamber.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys are like, kind of like salivating over the fact that there's a whole bunch of infighting going on. But I mean, doesn't that go against your
That's
point
what
that
keeps
we're
a republic a republic?
It's like, and that kind of goes against the whole argument. Oh, MAGA's a cult. I mean, you guys are also bragging about infighting, and we're all supposed to have this cultish mindset and follow Trump.
We're all supposed to be infighting with each other. We're supposed to be infighting with each other.
Yeah.
There is supposed to be no one is supposed to agree with everybody. No one is supposed to agree 100% with any one person. That's weird. It's weird. Like you're ass kissing at that point.
Yeah.
There's no. We're supposed to be like, I think I have a great idea, and Sid's supposed to be like, I think I have a great idea. Not, and I'll take some accountability on this. I think Joe Biden's a piece of shit, and he's the worst thing that's ever happened to our country, and he's going to try to kill everybody, and blah 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 blah. He's so incompetent, this and that. And Sid comes with, Trump's just trying to fucking take everybody's money and make everybody richer, blah, 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 blah. He's an evil person. He cheated on his wife. This. That is not what politics is supposed to be. It's not a fucking diss competition. It's supposed to be, I have an idea. I like my idea. Hey, everybody over here, do you like my idea? All right, I'm going to run. Then there's a Democrat. Hey, I have this idea. Everybody over here, you like my idea? All right, let's put our ideas to the test and debate about our ideas.
I will give you this.
The Democrat won this time.
That was funny though. It did have like a rap battle feel, like a Biggie and Pac feel.
That's what it is.
Like Joe Biden just came down like, man, first off, you cheated on your wife. Like, whoa, bro.
It's fucking, what is that with a comedy stand-up?
Roast.
Like, no, it's kind of like a roast, but what is it? It starts with a T. I forgot what it is. It's like there's a panel off to the right, and there's a person with an open mic, and they come up, and they just like the panel starts roasting them.
I thought that was called a roast. You said it starts with a T though.
I think so. It's like it's a name of a show, and I forgot what it's called.
Well, shoot! Shout out to my man Wesley Slots. He says that was me. I said that in the chat. Oh yeah, he's the one that says, "Man, that guy's good."
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I hate how good it is, because if Republicans have an issue, it is absolutely the messaging. Like, all Republicans get together and they're like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." But we cannot message to Democrats. Democrats are it's very easy to get caught into the mental tailspin. It's very hard to come to logic.
I mean, yeah, because Democrats, bro, they use great marketing tactics. Like, we attack people with logic, but they use marketing. It's like from the people they bring out and all this good stuff. I mean, you ever really notice why they try to bring out these younger women and I see younger guys and all this good stuff because they're trying to make an appeal. Like the reason why they keep Gavin Newsom up there, it's an appeal to it. I mean, looks, attitude, all that. Like their marketing is perfect. Like you don't need logic to have good marketing.
But you don't even really need good marketing. Like I disagree with you, Said I think their marketing is bad, but in an absence of the contradictory point, they don't have to have good marketing. They can say whatever, and if it's the only thing you're hearing, why? Because Hollywood's owned by the left,
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm
fucking
saying. Great
all the news
marketing.
is
They sell it.
it's not marketing, that's just an echo chamber.
No, that's marketing. I mean, when you sell your idea out there, you put it on the movie screen, you're marketing your idea to people. I mean, let's be real. Like a lot of like ideas you wouldn't have came to if you didn't watch certain movies, you didn't read
That's
certain
okay.
books.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and like since it's dominated by the left, then what type of ideology are we getting from our movies and books?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's being marketed to us. Like not as and the conservatives, that's what I always say. They need to do better with their marketing. And a lot of people say that by honestly giving their youth a chance. That's the one main criticism there is that we still got a bunch of old guys in the conservative party mainly. But as you see what the Dems are doing, they're bringing out all this young blood.
No. I wholeheartedly disagree with that set, and there's a reason I disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I'm gonna be the controversial person to say it because the first election I ever voted in was Trump's first term.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of people that just flat out supported Trump that from the younger crowd and to their parents' dismay. Like I remember my friend was like, "Oh yeah, I wanna vote for Trump. I think this, and this." And his mom was like, "You're a Mexican, you fool. You're not supposed to vote for Trump." And that's the disconnect. And if
I would say this, I would say what I meant, like, they're like, what I was really going to the point was like, all right, well, when you name your top Republicans, most famous Republicans, we're going to start naming a bunch of old guys, but you name, or your most notable Republicans. But if you start naming your most notable Democrats, we're mainly talking about young people. That's why I said
so you got Gavin, AOC, the fucking beans and rice or bananas and rice. Fucking okay.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of young names, but if you name Republicans, I mean, we talking like, of course, Trump, Lindsey Graham, Thomas Massey. I mean, we're naming old guys here.
Because maybe the older you get, the wiser you get.
Yeah, but well, I don't know, not all the time. Seems like these old guys crashing out sometimes, but that's another conversation.
I mean, in generalities, if we're painting with broad brushes, the younger you are and the less you actually know, the more confident you are. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect.
But then I don't know, but I feel like some of our best presidents we had was when they was in their younger ages. I don't know, maybe like their 40s at least.
What are you talking about? Obama was the youngest president at 45 or 42.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
All right then.
Obama is the youngest president. Or was the youngest president.
And like mainly a good amount of our presidents, all right, I guess the best ones have been in that 40 range. It seems like we've gotten to this
Obama was not our best president.
No, I'm talking about like before Obama and after, like even with Kennedy. Kennedy, Bill Clinton, all them good guys, all those guys. I think Bill Clinton was like what, in his 50s? Like we just start getting into this like normalcy of just having these guys in their 70s and 80s. Which we cannot, and I'll give you the argument if we're talking about wisdom within your 50s and 60s, but once we pass into 70s and 80s, we're like, I don't know.
So Ronald Reagan was 69, Joe Biden was 78. There's hold on, JFK was 43.
Yeah, I knew he was young. Yeah, well, hold on. When did Obama get in? Did you say like 45?
40. Oh, he was 47. 47.
Okay.
Bill Clinton was 46.
Yep.
H.W. Bush was 64. Ronald Reagan was 69.
Republican.
Jimmy Carter, fucking arguably one of the worst presidents, was 52.
Well, dang. So it's kind of like you see the pattern here. It's like it seems like the Dems do go after, like, do try out the young blood more than the Republicans do.
John F. Kennedy was 43. Theodore Roosevelt was 42.
Yeah. So as we getting down, you kind of see the pattern now. Isn't that a bit strange? But I don't know. Let's not focus too hard on that one.
I mean, I think there's something to be said about intelligence, the fucking experience that you have as you get older. Maybe someone that's idealistic and a go-getter is good for young blood, but the president of the United States, there's a reason you have to be 35 to be the president. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I agree. I wouldn't want nobody in their mid-20s. Lord knows. We don't.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine me as the president?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, Monty. This would be fun. It would be very fun. I ain't gonna lie. The Insurrection Act might have been invoked by now.
No, I agree with Trump. I don't think it should be invoked yet. I don't think there is reason to invoke the Insurrection Act. I think you have the insurrection, but you do not have the out of controlness. Now, if the Summer of Love, yeah, absolutely, Insurrection Act should have been pulled off. The BLM riots and all that fun stuff, absolutely. But right now, you have protests, and you have riots, and you have people that are taking advantage of things. So you have a group of people that are being violent to subvert the rule of law, but it is still controllable.
All right.
And it's more fun to see it controlled that way anyway. It's funny watching someone get their hand blown off because they're stupid and they grab a flashbang. That's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but it is hilarious. But all right, Monty, though. But I do gotta go ahead and close it down on this one. And shout out to Ascending. He says KKK are famous Dems. This is the truth.
You can't say that. You gotta hop in the Discord. Hop in the Discord. Make your guest appearance. You gotta make your once weekly Discord
appearance. What? I mean, I did that like 2 days ago with you and Sid.
That was just me and Sid. You got more people that want to hear you.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, I'll see. Right now, I'm on a time. Oh, God damn it. Never mind. Nope, I can't even do it.
Oh, damn.
I know. I'm looking at the time, and I'm just like, if I'd have ended 20 minutes earlier, I could have did it. But all right, though, it's all good, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you guys double tap that screen to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to my man Monty, co-host, contributor.
At least come in for 5 minutes and explain what your shadow ban theory is.
Okay, I got you. I got to do that for you. All right, guys, we're gonna head out on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and leave out on this informational clip. This is Set with Set Media. Appreciate you guys. Peace.
Trump just said you can't walk in with guns while talking about Alex Pretty's killing, seeming to blame him legally carrying a firearm as the reason for his death. Must I remind you all of a sacred thing you used to love called the Second Amendment? Trump has a good point, and I still love the Second Amendment. Only when it's politically favorable for you, huh? No, let's talk about. First off, as you always say, the Second Amendment comes with restrictions. One of those being while carrying, you must have your ID and permit on you in Minnesota. And reports are Alex did not, so he was likely, if that report is true, not legally carrying. Acting like that is the reason for him being killed is absurd. He was pepper sprayed, thrown to the ground, disarmed, and shot 10 times in a matter of moments, well before being asked for an ID. And even if that was known, it's not a death sentence. Just adding context, but also look, Alex was not engaged in a normal protest. Law enforcement was engaging in a lawful targeted arrest of an illegal immigrant wanted for violent assault. And Alex was merely filming, which he's 100% allowed to do. The arrest was happening in a public area. I mean, Alex was in the street, and this is the difference between rights and common sense. Yes, it's your right to bear arms, but we also know Alex had a physical altercation with ICE a week before this incident. Yeah, he was protesting, and 5 agents tackled him to the ground, breaking his ribs before letting him go on the scene. So he knows things can escalate, and if you're going to be confronting law enforcement agents again while they're doing their job in a high-tense operation against a felon, you know carrying a gun increases the odds of things escalating even more. Every gun owner knows when you're carrying around law enforcement to be very careful. No sudden movements, show your hands. Most gun owners carry almost wherever they go, and Alex was not the one who escalated the situation. Border Patrol threw someone to the ground, and in an instant went to Alex. He didn't have the time to take any of those precautions, and he didn't once reach for his gun. Maybe Border Patrol agents should know the Second Amendment exists and not be totally flustered when someone is carrying a firearm. Look, I don't think Trump is blaming Alex for his death. It sounds 100% like he is. He says he wants a full investigation, but it is a fair point to say confronting law enforcement while concealing a gun while they're in the middle of an operation against a felon is probably not the smartest thing to do. He was filming